I give a straight, or
No hands, no hat. I don't know what to think about that.
I'm into the points, but they're not your average points.
Thanks to it Psycho Nako Man for my sub gift. I have finally hit the big 33. Madam 5 ba Teagues to hype.
I give a straight, or
No hands, no hat. I don't know what to think about that.
I'm into the points, but they're not your average points.
Everybody wants to be a cat, because a cat's the only cat who knows where it's at.
As you can see, when two people are relaxing on the bed, a fire starts, and we're catching on fire. What? What?
As you can see, when we are going to have a Friday night Mario party, a fire starts, and MW and Odie's bedroom is catching on fire.
Hey guys, it's MadameWario, and Julie, she's so cozy. Say hi, Julie. Her eyes are open though, like I don't want to miss a beat. Thank you guys so much for the current hype train going on. Welcome to Friday Night Mario Party 4, where we will be playing our second to last board in the game. So get ready for it. Thank you so much for all the subs as well. Thank you very much for your support.
Two old ladies.
Everybody.
Happy Friday.
Oh, thank you so much to StarDev94 for 33 months. Dang, 33, the odd number. Phoenix Warriors for 21 months. Thank you so much. And now we have Shy Guy for Days with 68 months. Holy crap. Thank you so much, you guys, for the subs. All the buzz to all of you. Also, thank you to the Gaming Doc, Psycho Nacho Man, and Scottman895 for all the bits, all the support. Thank you. Thank you very much. I typoed! It's okay. Slow, ladies. It's all good. Thank you so much. Oh, look, Julie posed for you guys. Awesome. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to Friday Night Mario Party. Mario Party 4, we're back to the GameCube era. Yet again, it's the longest era in any of the GameCube games, so it's kind of fun. We'll be here for about a month. And actually, to be completely honest with you, we might be here longer because I have thumb surgery. Wow, speech. I have thumb surgery scheduled for next month, which will disrupt things. It will put a delay and kind of some creativity in what I'm producing at that time because I won't be able to game regularly. What a funny thing to say. But what I did get news of today is that I do not have to have emergency endometriosis surgery. Yes, yes, yes. I'm so relieved. I'm very emotional. I've been very stressed and anxious over these results. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, thank you so much.
That is so awesome to hear. We
Thank
must
you,
party
Scott,
all
man.
night now.
The party
to
all night.
celebrate.
Woo, let's go. I could not be happier because what this could have meant is I could have had surgery like tomorrow if I would have gone into the doctor today and they would have been like, oh, it's not, things are not like looking up. We're gonna have to do something, which means I would have had to miss the St. Jude Play Live Summit. I would have had to cancel the possibility of any like St. Jude charity stream because I have another surgery coming up next month too. And it just would have kind of wrecked all of the plans that I have in motion currently and sent me into a panic. So I'm just very grateful to all of you for your support. And I still have the post-surgery fund because I still am having that thumb surgery. So thank you so, so much to everybody who has donated to the fund so far. It's just an ongoing thing. I have like an end goal of $1,000 and I thought, oh my god, I'm gonna have to up it so much if I have to do this too. I'm gonna have to double it pretty much because it's such a long recovery, but I don't have to do that. At least, worst case scenario, I will have to revisit and possibly have surgery in the fall, but it won't be such a like emergency thing. It won't be like, oh, you need this now or things are gonna go, downhill. So, anyway, just thank you guys for your support. That's the update. I've been waiting on this day and so worried about it, so I'm very relieved, and also I'm still a little shaken up because it hasn't quite settled in and I still do have that thumb surgery. I mean, I'm not in the clear on like surgery completely, but this is the one I was really, really scared of. So, thank you guys for your prayers, for your positive vibes. I appreciate it all. And let's say hi to everybody who's here, now that I've gotten that out of the way. Psycho Nacho Man, The Gaming Doc 8, Stardev 94, Armand 2017, Yoshi 95, Phoenix Warriors Tim Lauren, we have Phantom Tempest, Scottman 895, Rainbow Road 1996, Dark Star 64, Armand 2017, Pink Eagle Soaring 86, Shy Guy for Days, Sir Pete the First, Schliam, whoa. Who else do we have in here that I have not read the name of? Water Pixels. I think that's everybody in the chat so far. Anybody lurking, watching in the shadows, I appreciate you. No second surgery right now. It's still something that could happen in the future, but I tweeted about it earlier just briefly. It's not going to be like an emergency thing though. Like the thing that we were kind of watching within my body has resolved on its own or started to, which is fantastic. That's what we were hoping for. So that has started to take care of itself. I still have endometriosis. I still have to regularly check up on issues. But if push comes to shove, this will be more of a scheduled thing. Like a, hey, I'm gonna have to have surgery in the fall, but I know about it and I can like prep for it. It won't be like, well, you have to go in tomorrow or else. Which is kind of the vibe that today was. So, thank God that didn't happen. So I'm very relieved in that sense. Now we just have to get over the hurdle of my thumb, and I am nervous about that too, but I do have a decent little nest egg to cover my rent and anything that I'm just, to be honest, worried about during a time when I cannot work. And again, if anybody is like, what in the world are you talking about? I did post a full update on both Patreon and Discord, so if you're on either one of those platforms, you can just go to my updates on Discord, and it's there. I mean, you can read about it. I feel like I have it pinned, and if I don't, I should probably do that. Just so you can go back, and I'll post another update in there, just so I don't have to keep saying this on stream, and so I can just kind of reference that if anybody is truly confused or has not been keeping up, because not everybody's here every single time, and I get that. Everybody has lives outside of streaming, and but I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate the support. It's been a whirlwind of a month, just kind of anticipating the news of today. So, you know, I'm gonna try not to get emotional, but thank you guys for supporting me through this month. And I am very excited. I want to go ahead and just go into updates for this coming week, because there are a couple schedule changes and one cancellation. So there will not be a stream on Monday. There will be no Mario Monday this week because I will be at St. Jude for the St. Jude Play Live Summit. I'm very honored. I'm very excited. I'm so happy I'm able to go. I don't have to cancel last minute because of surgery. So, and that was made possible by you guys, so thank you again to everybody who's ever been part of those campaigns and made them the successes that they were. This also means that I will be able to have my own campaign this year. Now, granted, it's going to be kind of like last year where it's like a one-day thing or a weekend thing, possibly, before my surgery. I want that to be like beginning of May so that I can do whatever I want with it, and then, you know, the rest of the month is kind of like up to healing and what my body can do and what I'm able to do. So I want to get that out as soon as possible. I'm going to work on scheduling that now that I've gotten the good news about my endo surgery not happening right now. And so anyway, I'm very excited. That's one of my favorite events of the year with streaming, so hopefully you guys can make it. I'll be sure to advertise when it will be and what it will be. I had a couple different ideas. I'm going to see what I want to go with exactly. But, you know, it'll be a good time. I'm really looking forward to it now. So, anyway, who else just walked in? Rolly64, Lovely Ken, and Asbeth. Welcome to all three of you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you very much. So next week there will not be a stream on Monday because I'll be at the summit. And I have a little tied with my like end goal of the post-surgery fund, which is $1,000. Once that is reached, I'm gonna release a music video from the summit for you guys. So that'll be a lot of fun. I'll do what I can to make that really special. But I am just so relieved I'm able to participate in St. Jude this year. Not just the summit, but just the charity stream incentive in May in general. So I'm very excited. So no stream on Monday. Friday should be the same. Friday Night Mario Party will resume next Friday. It'll be Mario Party 5. And then Saturday, I'm going to have my Just Dance stream, but I don't think it's going to be at 8 o'clock. I think it's going to be an afternoon stream. So it'll be earlier than usual. I'm going to make sure to get the schedule out. I'm thinking it'll be from like noon, maybe like, or why don't, I'm going to say it's going to be from like 1 to 3, noon to, somewhere between like 1 to 2:30 or like, or sorry, noon to 2:30 or like 1 to 3. I'm going to try and keep it at like 2 hours-ish. Because I do have a conflict that evening, but I don't want to miss streaming. So I want to be sure to get that in. So just be aware that next Saturday, my stream will be in the afternoon rather than in the evening. And it's one of those things, I can't back those up, so it's like you kind of have to be there. I should be able to keep it up through the evening, for if anybody misses the memo, they can watch it that night and then I can delete it, like, before I go to bed or something. But it's going to be an afternoon stream, not tomorrow, but next Saturday with Just Dance. So if you want to see that, definitely mark your calendars. I'm going to put all this on Discord too, in the schedule channel. I always release my weekly schedule in there, so I'm going to update it that way. But, oh wow, a dab for Water Pixels. Aquatic Fish 22, happy Friday. And thank you, Trackstar. Happy Friday to you as well. This is my Degrassi shirt. I have to shout out both Odinspec and Pixel Plume for this, because this was actually like Pixie's shirt. I told them they had to go to this like basketball event in Toronto just to get this Degrassi shirt for me, which they did, and I'm so happy. So shout out to them. So anyway, tomorrow's stream is normal. It'll be or normal time. It'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern, and it's a special event. It's gonna be my Banjo-Tooie first look. So I'm very excited for that. You guys know I loved Banjo-Kazooie. So I'm gonna start Tooie tomorrow. And it'll have to go on hiatus because of my thumb surgery in the next month. But we're at least getting the first look. I did the same thing last week with The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I had my first look, first Zelda game, first anything. It's on YouTube if you missed it. But I'm doing the same thing tomorrow with Banjo-Tooie. So that's at 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you love Banjo-Tooie or the Banjo series, you want to be there for that. Live, it's going to be tomorrow night at 8 p.m. as regularly scheduled. So really the only thing is, like, there's going to be one less stream next week, and my Saturday stream will be earlier than usual. So otherwise, things are pretty much the same. And I haven't even started working on May's schedule because I didn't know what would be happening with me. So now I can work on that, and I'll be sure to release the St. Jude Play Live charity stream information as soon as I've figured it out for myself. And then Friday Night Mario Party, when that will end and when I'm hoping it will resume. But I do plan to produce content next month. It's not like after my surgery I'm just gonna not be around at all. Like I am planning to do alternative things. It just won't be like your regular MDub setup, if that makes sense. So anyway, but I hope all that made sense. I'll be posting an update and stuff in my Discord again, and you can always find my schedule each week there. Yes, that is my Keyblade on the wall. Wow, I can't do this. Right there. That's my Keyblade, and that's my little girl, Julie. Gosh, what am I saying? Well, Bree Hawk, what's up, nerds? What's up, Bree? Cool. I think that we're probably ready to get into the game. I do want to say, though... Oh, that's something else next weekend. That, I think next Friday, because I'm going to release it a week later. A week after it originally was uploaded. If you're part of my Patreon, I want you to know that I currently, as of this afternoon, as of 12 p.m. this afternoon, I uploaded my podcast with all my critiques, thoughts, opinions on the Mario movie. So if you want to listen to that, it's on there now if you're one of my patrons. If you are not part of my Patreon, that's not something that interests you, I will be publicly releasing that next Friday. So you get a little week in advance if you're part of my Patreon. And I have a new patron too. Shout out to Evan. Thank you so much to Evan for pledging to my Patreon. I appreciate your support. So, big shout out! But yeah, so if you want to listen to that, it's up. There you go. However, warning, and there is a warning at the beginning of the podcast as well, and it's in the description and everything else. If you have not seen the movie, do not listen to this until you have, because it literally spoils every single thing in the movie. So this is not something that's like, oh, should I see the movie? I'm gonna listen to... No, don't do that, because it's just a straight up, like, critique, spoiler... too much. So I would not want to do that to anybody. I'm very strict on here about, like, no one spoiling it, because it is a big deal. So, anyway, that's the word on that. I know it took me a little longer to get out than I was anticipating because of Easter weekend and everything that has been going on with me, but it's out. It's up. You guys can listen to it if you're on Patreon. If you're not, you can listen to it next weekend. So, is there anyone in chat that has not seen it? Yeah, Scottman says... Oh, I got to finally see the movie last Sunday. I thought you said you were seeing it this Sunday. I'm like, Scottman hasn't seen it! Don't say anything! But seriously, don't say anything just in case there is anybody. Alright. Bree, you re-sprained your bad ankle? Oh my gosh! No. Well, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that, because, ugh. Man. Yeah, that's super lame. But, anyway... sorry to hear that, Bree. I hope it's feeling better. I hope it gets better soon. Oh, that sucks. Okay, let me go ahead and switch screens here. Is this too loud, by the way? I have no idea if I've had this on way too loud. I think it's fine, because the last game I played was Double Dash, so it should be set pretty good. I think maybe it's just too loud on my end. Oh my god, even my toes are swollen? Oh. Yeah, that sucks. Sorry, Brie. That really, I hate injuries. They're the worst. They are the worst. Because you just want them to be... I always say, like, can I just get, like, a cold for, like, a day or a couple days? Like, do I have to injure something? And then, you know, you get the whole spiel of, like, well, I don't... No one knows how long it takes to heal. Like, I hate that. Anyway, I've talked about Patreon a lot. One more thing, shout out to my patrons because they picked this board this week. It was between Shy Guy's Jungle Jam and Bowser's Gnarly Party, which apparently no one is a fan of. Period. Because it always comes in last, I feel like, with these polls. It's just always in last place. But it's okay because originally when I first started this series, we would always do the Bowser board last. So it's kind of fitting. That's where I'll Be Pickled comes from. Okay. Anyway. So we'll see Bowser for the final board of this next round. We're seeing Shy Guy today. Okay. Give me characters. Give me who you want to see as CPUs. Nightbot is ready. Nightbot is warmed up. So, anyway. Also, Shliam buddies, injury buddies, check out my net. Oh no! Ugh, okay, I hate when you get like a tick in your neck, so having a legitimate anything wrong with your neck is just the worst. So annoying, so feel better, Shliam. Alright, let's see. Who's our first CPU of the day? It's gonna be Peachy! Thank you, Armand! Alright, Big Peach. And then we also have Big Shliam, who's picking... Who are you picking, Shliam? I don't even know if you picked anybody. Well, you get to pick now, so let me know. Also, haha PhD, Cirque Red Rum. Welcome to the chat. Nosegay, the Anteater. I don't think I said hi to you yet. Anyone who I missed? I'll give you one guess. I'm guessing Yoshi, but I don't know. You might change it up on me. Alright. Last but not least, Phoenix Warriors, who picks a Waluigi. Oh my god, why is this so out of sync compared to... Let me make sure it's not like that. Hold on, I gotta mute it on my end. I think it is synced up for you guys, it's just not synced up for me, so I'm just gonna listen to it on here. Good guess! Okay, sweet. We are ready to go. I'm gonna switch screens here so I can see the chat easier. Sorry, Toad, but we have no interest in you today. Shy Guy's Jungle Jam. I love Toad's pinstripe pants. Someone said that earlier, and I was like, yes. Oh, it was usually... Yeah, when is Pinstripe Toad gonna be playable? That's the question of the day. Okay, is 35 good for the... I'm just gonna do 35, because we always play Mushroom Medic after this anyway. It's fine. Yeah. Also, I got the Bucks before this. It sounded so good. Couldn't resist. The only reason you noticed the Keyblade was because you literally played Kingdom Hearts for the first time ever today. Oh, I love Kingdom Hearts. It's so fun. Yo, gotta represent the Keyblade. Sorry, why does every time I try to aim this down... Okay, it's like way high up. I have, like, most of my well, not most of them, that's a lie, but I have all Pokemon back behind me. I've been trying to put Easter stuff away, finally. Okay, I'm going last. How exciting! Yeah! Yeah! That was way too much movement for this little tiny WoW. Okay. Anyway, I think what I am gonna do is I am gonna try and sync this once. There we go. Okay, now it's better for me. Whoa. Okay. I'm enjoying it so far. Bought the all-in-one collection. Oh my gosh. That's such a good deal. Like, man. I wish I had known that, like, Kingdom Hearts 3 was gonna be, like, $3 a few months after it was released, because I totally would not have bought it at launch. I still haven't played it. So, joke's on me, I guess. But I was in this mindset that I would play it, like, immediately, and that did not happen. Wow, 2 1s in a row, and everybody else rolled a 2. Really amazing first turn of the game. Aquatic Fish 22! This music for this board is so good. I always forget how this music even goes. 1973, 1 year short of my birth year. Big bird. Alright, let me attempt to be good at this today. I have sometimes where I can just get every single basket, and then times like this, where I get like 2. Man, I always want to get the middle row! God. I am doing terribly. Oh, what? Every time I go to get one in the middle row, it doesn't work. Oh, I lost. I lost, Julie. She's like, I don't care. I'm snoozy. Okay, well, it's fine. Okay, what was I gonna say? I think I was gonna ask how everybody's week was. Minus the anxiety and anticipation of today and my appointment to see if I had to have surgery or not. That was a big cloud over everything I was like trying to focus on this week. I've had a pretty productive, pretty good week. It's been like beautiful weather outside, so I've gotten outside a lot. Odie and I have gone to the park a lot and just, you know, gotten outside of the house and done things outside that are just so nice after being cooped up in the cold, rainy nastiness. Did some shopping this week, always a fun time. Got all packed. Oh yeah, this is this song. This is like an iconic song, and you would not think it's from Shy Guys Jungle Jam if you did not know this game. Sorry. Anyway, I've already packed for the summit, so I don't have to stress about that at all this weekend. I packed like 2 days ago because I am somebody who like, I like to do that kind of stuff in advance so that I don't end up like wearing something I want to wear while I'm on vacation or on a trip or whatever it is. And also so I don't have to stress about it and everything's just ready to go and I can relax leading up to it. I'm not a last minute I'm really not a last minute anything. Like, I'm not a last minute packer. I'm not a last minute planner. Like, no. I plan like way, like obnoxiously far in advance for these kinds of things. And I'm also just somebody who enjoys organizing and getting things ready to go or put where they need to be. So, oh god, this feels so weird on my thumb, this vibration. Hurry up, Waluigi! Okay. So anyway, I'm glad that all that's done. So I've had a like productive week. Doing things that I both have been putting off and things that I've been looking forward to. So. And I saw the Mario movie for a second time this week too. Odie and I went and saw it because I was like, you know, I really want to like have a moment, go see it again. Like, I love going to the movie theater anyway. Let's go, and we did, and it was great. So it was great to see it again. And then let's see. You learned recently that you get more points for the middle row. Oh, Shy Guy. you do on 3 throw. Sorry, I'm like back in chat because I scrolled back to see what you guys said. So Water Pixels, you saw the Mario movie for the 2nd time. Your week's been okay, Scottman. Never easy to come back from vacation. Oh my gosh, no it is not. That is like the hardest thing, like post-vacation depression, post-con depression. Yeah, it sucks because it's like you have this whole like, you look forward, I feel like, to vacation or getting out of town for such a long time, and then it seems like it goes by so fast and it's over and you're back to reality, and it's like, oh no. You just immediately want to start planning your next thing when that happens. Oh my gosh, finished another big painting today, Rainbow Road! Well, that is awesome. Had a big day today. Didn't know if you caught my greeting message in the beginning. I did not, hello, Cass! Thank you so much, Cass, for the biddies!
Madam 5 Pizza. Hey, are you ready to play? Madam 5 Pizza.
Hey! Oh, wait, that's not how she says it. She goes, hey! She probably really does go, hey! But it's so slowed down. Are you ready to play? I am ready to stomp these guys, I guess, because why not? Welcome, Cass! Thank you so much for the biddies again. My week has been alright. Not good or bad, just neutral. Wow, I'm really gonna stomp the baddies with this. I mean, at least I get... Woo! Double 2s! 1 shy of what I needed to do anything. So thanks, game. Hate you too. Week's been okay. Yesterday I ate something in the evening when I was playing a game outside. I overdid it, and it doesn't... Oh no! It didn't agree with you! Oh, I hate that. Okay, this doesn't require any thought, so... Oh my gosh, get your pizza, yo-yo. Enjoy it. But yeah, I had to pick up your graduation cap and gown. An overpriced necessity. I don't remember what that's called. I learned in one of my costume design classes that I took in college, like, there's a word for when something is absurdly, like, overpriced and you're going to wear it one time and literally that's it. Unless you're smart and you work it into cosplay or, like, photo shoots or something, but unless we're all in... I think I picked X. Unless we're all in X, we've got this. Okay, well, I'm in X, so we got this anyway. Oh my god, we were literally all in... Ah! Okay, well that was lucky. That was really lucky. Anyway, I can't remember the word for it, but it's a specific word for a garment that you wear once that you pay, like, top dollar for. And I don't know, some places you might be able to rent your cap and gown. My college, you did not get to do that. Originally wanted to do water aerobics over at the pool, but a doctor's visit took great... Oh no! Well, I wouldn't worry about that, Sir Pete, letting anybody down. I mean, your health has to come first. I have to tell myself this, too, being a streamer. But, Volcanic Ash Soap, welcome to the chat. I actually have. I have, used Dolphin before to play... This was, like, back during the height of the COVID pandemic, so this was in, like, 2020. I did, like, a drinking game with friends on Bowser Land, playing it with the Dolphin emulator, and then I played again. I think I tried to play one of the GameCube games, but I don't think I streamed that. I've just tried to play casually outside of streaming. As far as the N64 games go, you know, it's not gonna be as a necessity to have Dolphin anymore, but... The one thing, it's kind of laggy unless you, like, make it really choppy. I guess, for me. So I haven't used it a whole lot, but I definitely have tried the Dolphin emulator, for sure. Isn't this song also Mario Party Advance? It might be. It's been years and years since I played Mario Party Advance, so... I wouldn't know, but... I know, Slim Kirby just recently played through Mario Party Advance. I mean, I say recent, it was probably... couple months ago now, but he played through that on his channel not too long ago, so he probably would know the answer to that. Or somebody in chat who's more familiar with that game. 35%. I don't remember how much mine was. I feel like mine was like 50, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe I'm just remembering it like it was that price because that's how much it calculated to in my mind. I also didn't pick it up or order it myself because I was working in Disney World at that time. That was during my internship. So my mom ended up having to go get my cap and gown for me, and so she got all the info and I got none of the info. So I don't know. She was just like, alright, it's picked up and let's go. So thanks, Mom. Thanks for picking up my cap and gown. I'm pretty sure I paid for it online though, so I don't know how much it was. And like, she graduated the year before me from school, and so she was gonna let me borrow hers, but you had to like pay for like part of it was paying for the tassel. I'm like, you can't just buy the tassel. No, you couldn't just buy the tassel. Like, it's so dumb. And it didn't even say the right year anyway. I graduated in December and it said it's the tassel for the following spring, so it was the wrong year regardless. I'm like, this is just stupid. And hers was the same way. Big dumb. So where am I? Sorry. I'm still like way back in chat, so I apologize if you guys have said anything super clever and I have not read it out loud. I think I want to go this way. Or maybe I don't. A fun wish. A fun wish, baby. Oh yeah, he cries if you're like, oh no! Oh yay! Okay, I was really scared that he was gonna be sad. Aww, thanks, Shy Guy. He's so happy now. Okay. Go, go, go! Okay, what am I saying? What am I reading? What am I doing? No, oh, come on. This game is where I always screw up at the very end. Like the last second. Why did my impression of my mom make her sound like she's 95 years old? I don't know. What did I do? What did I say? I don't know if I said anything. What did I say, Bree? How did I say it? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't hate this minigame. This is one of those minigames that, like, I love the concept, but I don't really love how it's done. So I'm kind of just, like, neutral about it. I don't mind it, but I don't dislike it, but I don't particularly like it either. What's right behind? Give me this pie. Knock Yoshi over. Of course it's this back one. Never the back one! Come on. Yeah! Come on, speech. Come on. Let's go. This is where I just don't know how to time it. It's so loud. I'm sorry for the loudness. Okay, we actually did it, but it's because I started watching how the other side was doing it. Don't remember what you said exactly, but while doing an impression of her picking up ear tapping down, the voice you used was like super old lady sounding. Okay, I don't even know what voice I did. Oh no. Well, sorry Mom, didn't mean to give that impression of you. Also, oh my gosh, this is unrelated to graduating or anything like that. I've been thinking about it a lot today because of my news, but for St. Jude Play Live, for my charity campaign, I was sent generously a goodie box from St. Jude once again this year. They've been doing this for a few years now. And it has such fun things in it. I think I can use more of the things that are in this box in particular than I could last year's box. And some of the things I'm just like really excited about. Really looking forward to. Look how fun that Shy Guy statue is down there. But anyway, I can't wait to share some of the incentive stuff with you guys. I'm just excited to put it together and set it up. And of course we're gonna have like sticker giveaways and fun stuff like we always do. This is that minigame that I should be good at and I'm not. Okay. I love that I'm pink though. I never get to be pink. Don't do! This is my border. I gapped it. It's not your fault you're so gap-toothed. Get out of here! Come on, I had a decent line ruined. How did I have the least? Stupid. Yeah, it's cute, but it does control weirdly. Mm-hmm. Right, Julie? Oh, Julie, you're upside down. How nice. Oh, yeah, Yoshi was after me. What did I do to Yoshi? Hold on, I have to pause for a second to show you guys, Julie. You're upside down. That's so nice. She's like, look at me, you guys. Okay, sorry. You can't really tell what is happening behind me on this smaller screen. Or it's not as easy to tell what's happening. Yeah, but you're so sweet. She loves it. She loves it. Well, anyway, it sounds like most of you had a decent week or a productive week. I feel like most of you were neutral, actually. My week was good. I would say overall my week was good. I just wish you know, I wish, this is a personal problem, like, I worry so much about things out of my control sometimes that it, like, that ends up controlling me. And that's kind of one of those things I felt with, this, you know, my surgery verdict. So I'm like, okay, I wish I hadn't let this control me so much, because it all ended up being okay. But it's all good! I think that's a pretty human thing to do. I think I was just trying to prepare myself in case I got bad news so that I wasn't like, you know, totally distraught or something. But I'm just glad it all worked out. So yeah, that's what it is. It's like overthinking. You know when you're like anticipating a big day though and you just like, you can't stop obsessing over it? Like I think it's just like, it's like a form of OCD, because it's like something you don't have control over. And I for sure, like, have OCD, I just don't have it to, like, a clinical degree where it affects my everyday life in, like, a serious way. Like, this was, like, something, obviously, that was coming up that I had to think about and consider, was concerned over. But, like, on the daily, that's not usually... Oh my gosh, why am I so bad at this? That's not usually a thing. It's just like when I have like a big news or the potential of big news. Okay, I do not like driving this boat. Gosh, no. Ooh! Oh, I just forget there's a timer. I always want to think there's like an end to this little strip. Anyway. Whoa! Odie says go get Dolly! Hi, Odie. Shout out to Odin. He's been my rock this week. And he's been having a great week. He's been having a super productive week. He's been streaming almost every day. Working out regularly. I'm very proud of Odin. He's been doing a lot to change his lifestyle and correct habits that he's not proud of or happy with. So... shout out to Odie. I'm half asleep! It's okay, Odie. Yeah, he's been on like a different schedule than myself too, because I've been like working later at night, and he's been working like early during the day on like and when I say work, it's like we're working on our own like personal stuff, but it's like I tend to work on that at night, whereas he's been working on his own stuff in the morning. So anyway, we gotta hydrate from Cass too. I don't know if I said that. I definitely hydrated, but I did not say why. Your mom's recovering in the hospital? Aw, well, I wish your mom all the best in her recovery. For sure. Oh, yeah, I thought that the way I was going was going to lead me here, but definitely not. Like, you have to take like a tiny mushroom to get here, so I'm really glad that he did use a magic lamp, because yeah, we can't have that star be in that location forever. And now it's back to the beginning, I think. I think it's back to the beginning, right, Julie? She's so snuggly! Oh no! Don't steal from me! Okay, good. He did not steal from me. I'm going to put Dolly back here. Dolly back here. In other news, if you were here last weekend, you know that I injured my good thumb opening a raspberry whip Russell Stover's egg chocolate covered. Sorry, let me start that over. Opening a Russell Stover's chocolate covered raspberry whip egg. It's one of my favorite Easter candies. I was opening it and I like bent my nail completely back and it like pulled away from the skin and bled and was nasty. I know that's cringy, I'm so sorry, but I mean, it's definitely, there's still blood under it and it's bruised, but it's better. It's so disgusting, like on stream. This was during Mario Party too, and I was like, cool. I'm only supposed to be playing a game for the first time tomorrow, and now it hurts to even touch the joystick. Have you guys ever won like a goldfish at a carnival? I feel like I've ever won. Well, I don't feel like I've ever actually won a goldfish, but my mom has. My mom's won several. Somebody get this last cheap. Ooh, I got it, but I was too slow. Yeah, just the thought of it is nasty. I'm so sorry. But that's what happened, like, at first I was like, oh good, it didn't break my nail, and then I saw what it did do, and I was like, okay, that's even worse, because now it just feels like when your nail's been cut too short, and it hurts, and is throbbing, and bleeding. No. And it did break part of my nail, but not the whole thing. Luckily it didn't also break it, though. I mean, that is still lucky, but ugh, gross. Not a fan. Not a fan. Oh, your cat's been really cuddly today, Rainbow Road? No. Gotta enjoy that kitty love. Do they even do that anymore? Getting a carnival fish feels like one of those things that only happens in cartoons. I mean, the last time... I think that, no, my mom definitely got one a few years ago, so I would say within the last 5 years, she definitely won a carnival fish. Why did you use this right there, you idiot? And sometimes, like, instead of giving you, like, a fish then and there, they'll give you a ticket for a free goldfish at, a pet store. Like PetSmart or something, you know, like a big chain. Oh, Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But otherwise, I don't know. I've seen it in recent years, so I don't know. I'm just not good at winning the game, because usually you have to throw like a ping pong ball into, like, there will be tons and tons of little fish bowls, and you have to get the ping pong ball to land in one of them, or to land in one with like a colored rim. I've never won. I've never won! Yeah, the ticket seems fine. The live fish there, I question the humanity of it, or how humane it is. Is that the right? I don't know if humanity is the right word, but I question how humane it is. Because not everybody is great with animals, and not everybody values animals the same way as they do, like, human life, which is tragically unfortunate, but, you know, that's like a whole problem I have with humanity in general. Ooh! Making bank, let's go. I mean, I do love the concept of getting a pet as a prize, because I'm somebody who will take care of it and loves animals, and I wouldn't play if I knew I was not going to take care of said animal, but there are many people that do not feel that way and are not that type of person, unfortunately, so. Armand, I wish this was a shirt that I could just say, like, hey, you can, like, go out and buy this, but this was from an event. This was from, like, an actual basketball game in Toronto that I talked Odie and my good friend Pixie into going to so that I could get a free shirt. So this is from years ago too. This was like, I want to say 5 years ago. Like, it was a while ago. So that's where it was actually like a freebie at a game. Oh no, she made him so angry. How could you be? He sobbed. He has like very gray tears. I'm scary. By the way, that reminds me, Odie and I just finished, this week actually, we finished watching the entirety of Degrassi as a series. Not just what aired on TV, but Netflix also. So we had finished all that aired on TV. This is from Next Generation onward, so not like the 80s series. He hasn't seen all of that, but we started with season 1 of Next Generation, went all the way through season 4 of the Netflix series. So all 14 seasons on the air, and then all 4 seasons on Netflix, and it just ended. And it's so sucky how it ends, because it does not complete a lot of storylines because of how they didn't expect it to get canceled. Oh, this is so dumb. I'm not gonna use this. But yeah, they didn't expect it to get canceled, so a lot is just kind of left hanging. I mean, they did, like, it ends with, like, a class graduating, which is great, because you get resolution for them, but for everybody else, it's just like, and I guess we'll never know what happened to this person. But it's all good. The Netflix series actually introduced, I feel like, the only character in the show that I absolutely despise and don't genuinely, like, can't stand. Like, the worst. The worst character in the show that has no redemption and is just awful. And I'm just like, no, I'm not dealing with that. Purple. Dang it. Okay, well, I was a little bit too hasty. I have a feeling it's gonna be orange. Green? Ah! What? I shot that, you idiot. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. My cursor was, like, not moving. Purple. Green? He's gone for all the shades of green, and I haven't gotten any of them. I need to make a tier list, and I probably will make said tier list. What? I got that. Am I not purple? No, I am purple. I'll make said tier list after my thumb surgery, because I'm saving all my tier list streams for after, so that I don't, like, so that I have something that's, like, easy for me to do while recovering. And I know it. And I know you guys enjoy the tier list streams anyway, but later seasons introduce the characters that I just do not care about at all, for the most part. Not all of them, but, like, no. So, is it Maya? Oh my god, I can't stand Maya. She's so dumb. She, like, when she's first introduced, she's okay, and then she's just slowly the worst, and I'm like, God, I don't care what happens to this girl. I don't care. But her sister was the actual worst. Like, Katie is the one that's like, I don't give one crap what happens to this character. So didn't like her. Katie was the worst, and so was Marisol, and I'm like, those two can go, like, jump off a bridge. I don't really care. They're characters, you know, not the actors. But I'm just saying, those characters I, like, did not care about at all. And Maya was okay, and then it's like, never mind, she's related and she's an idiot. I feel like the very last season, she became a little bit more human. And so she had a little bit of redemption, and I was like, okay, she doesn't have, like, the Shirley Temple barrel well, not, I shouldn't say Shirley Temple, but she doesn't have, like, the great-grandma Moses barrel curls with the little 12-year-old glasses. She got past her, like, 10-year-old phase and actually looks like a senior in high school now. She's like, oh, I'm so edgy. I'm like, there is no way. I mean, I'm not a guy and I'm not gay, so, like, I can't really say for a fact that this is true. But anybody who is attracted to girls, I'm sorry, but you would not go for this girl. Like, you would not, that would not be the girl in high school that you'd be like, that girl's hot, because she looks like she's 10 years old. Unless you have a Lolita complex and you're kind of, like, struggle with pedophilia, then maybe. But, like, this girl looks so young and continues just to be, like, styled so young. She has the opposite problem of Claire Edwards. Claire Edwards was styled like a 48-year-old, you know, woman who's getting ready to have a promotion at her business career that she started when she was 25. So that, you know, they have the opposite problem. She's like an old lady, and Maya's like 10 years old forever, and like all these guys are like, what? Like, no, these guys would not be falling at this girl's feet. So dumb. So, anyway, that's how I feel about her. But yeah, I know, giving away all the material. No, there's so much material for the tier list. This is just the tip of the iceberg. No, I will say for a fact, the worst character in the show, bar none, is Esme. She's the worst. She could go die. No one would go to her funeral. Like, that's the kind of character she is. And I get that I guess it is written well because she's supposed to be like a manipulator. And having known an actual person in real life that was a manipulator like that, they did it well. But you hate her, and it's for good reason. So Esme was introduced in the Netflix series. Who? That's probably because you like wrote her out of your minds. You guys were like, I'm gonna write this bee out of my mind because I can't stand her. She is the absolute worst. She's only in the Netflix series, like that's when she's introduced. But she's in all 4 seasons of it, so yeah, Esme sucks balls and hate her. Yeah, they dressed Claire like she was 80, right? Is it weird that this is kind of making me want to watch Degrassi? Can I roast the Degrassi YouTube channel really quick? Can I roast it? Because whoever is running that channel doesn't know one thing about Degrassi. My mom, okay, I should give my mom a little bit more credit because she did watch some of the show because I watched it so much. But honestly, even with that, there's a lot of information. My mom could run the channel not having a refresher at all better than whoever is running it right now. Like, she could honestly run it better. Every time they have a scene, they've been doing shorts every time they have a scene that has Jimmy Brooks in it, which was played by Aubrey Graham. You guys, if you don't know who that is, that's Drake, okay? He was Aubrey Graham as an actor. He became Drake later, whatever. So, it'll say, like, Drake confronts his teacher. And I'm like, yeah, my favorite character, Drake. But all the other characters, it's not their actor's name. It's, like, the character's name. So, you know, whoever's watching it doesn't know his character's name, and it's like, oh, that's Drake. I'll just put that Drake is having a bad day, or whatever. And then they keep... This has happened so many times. This has happened multiple times, and I've seen it because I see everything that goes up. And they'll have, like, there was one the other day, and it said Spinner apologizes to Ashley. And I'm like, that's Paige in this clip. What? Like, they clearly don't know the difference between Paige and Ashley, which are drastically different characters. Ashley never dated Spinner. Paige is blonde. Ashley is, like, emo in this. She's, like, gothic in the season that this clip is from. No. And so people are, like, raking the channel over the coals in the comments. They deleted every single comment, and then, like, they changed it because they got raked over the coals. This was, like, 3 days later that they changed it. And then there was one today that was like, Richard goes to Mr. Radich for help on bullying. And I'm like, who's Richard? Rick. But because Mr. Radich is the principal, so he obviously calls this student by his, like, proper name. But this kid is Rick. He goes by Rick. He does not go by Richard. But you know that whoever's running the channel just watched the clip and was like, oh, his name's Richard. Cool. Like, oh, you mean the most iconic storyline in the show with this character that literally everybody knows? I get it, he calls him Richard in the clip, but that's Rick. Somebody in the comments made a good point. They were like, that's like calling Freddie Mercury Frederick and expecting anybody to know who you're talking about. Great. That is his, like, birth certificate name, but no. So that's my roast. Whoever's running the Degrassi channel needs to be fired, and they need to hire me instead. That's my roast. Or anybody else who actually watched the show. Rick. Thanks, Psycho. Yeah, no. I gotta go back and read your comments, you guys, because I was on a roll with, ranting, but I was on a Rick roll, you know. I know, I'm so cool. Dad jokes! Because I'm now older than the adults are supposed to be in season 1 of Degrassi: The Next Generation. They're like, I'm 28! And I'm like, oh my god, they look so much older than I do. Do I look that old? And they have, like, houses with, like, these big careers, and I'm like, never owned a house in my life. I'm not making bank, like, no, that's just not my lifestyle, which I get it, some people my age are, but, like, most probably aren't. Yeah, she owns that house as a hairdresser. Single mom, hairdresser, she owns a house in downtown Toronto. No, is she like a millionaire secretly? Like the millionaire hairdresser? It's a 2-story. It's not a townhouse, it's like a house. Like, no. I feel like when I watched it, I thought the adults were like 45! They still seem 45! I'm like, oh my god, I'm older than, like, the actors were even, like, playing them at the time now, but no. Unless you're, like, a doctor or a lawyer or something, and you immediately get, like, a bank-paying job, or you're, like, an anchor on the news or something, you're probably not gonna own it. Or your parents helped you. Without any parental help, like, you have to be, like, that kind of person to own a house like that, in a city like that, at that age. You need to be, like, a trust fund baby, or your parents buy it for you as a wedding gift, or something like that. I love when that's written into movies. It's like, oh, my parents bought me a house as a wedding gift, and I'm like, oh, must be nice! Who actually has that happen? People who don't need their parents to buy them a house, probably. Okay, anyway. Sorry, I wanted to see what you guys said. Cole the Camel! Oh my god, you were here like 20 minutes ago and I'm just now saying hi to you. I'm so sorry. Welcome to my Degrassi rant that took over everything else going on. Oh my god. It's never too late to start watching Degrassi. And like, sure, you can watch it from the beginning if you really want to know everything about everybody, but it's one of those shows you can kind of jump in anytime and get totally sucked in and be like, wait, what happened to this person? And, like, go from there. Okay, give me a star, baby. Hey, this is right where I was earlier. So, cool. Okay, what else was I? Rolly loves Claire Edwards. I really like Claire, but I feel like I like her more with Eli. Like, I love the Claire-Eli dynamic. That's like my favorite couple in the show. It's my favorite ship of the show. But also, like, I feel like Odie asked me, it was like, do you like Darcy or Claire better? And I'm like, oh my god, I don't know. Like, I feel like I can relate more to Darcy, so like I kind of like her better for that reason, but she's in so much less of the show, it's hard to say. Wanted is Boo. I want Boo's hot, ghostly bod. Or do I? I don't know. Oh my gosh. Boo! Just want your ghostly self. Ah! What? I skipped a Boo? Are you kidding me right now? I finished like right when it was too late. Oh, thank you for the follow, by the way. I think we had a follow earlier and I like did not say anything. I'm sorry for being ungrateful in the moment because I was heated about Degrassi probably. Warner Brothers Discovery canceled I wondered what canceled it. I was like, what canceled this HBO reboot that we were supposed to get? Because no, that's not okay. It's okay, you were clearly invested in what you were discussing. Thanks, Cole. Thanks for understanding. Yeah, my parents would get me like a blender as a wedding gift. Like my parents got me more than a blender, but like not a house. That's a little bit much. So. Cool. Also, thanks for the good luck, Leanne. Appreciate it. Big party! I'm a Darcy lover too. I really do love Darcy's character. And again, I love both those girls. I love the Edwards sisters. And if I absolutely had to pick, I probably would pick Darcy, but I don't know. There was so much more development with Claire, but then there was also like too much. They also had her on the show long enough that I feel like they did things that were like, okay, I don't know that this girl would really go through this, and this, in addition to the 12 other things she's already been through in high school alone. But, you know, they did that with Spinner, too. They kind of just kept giving him really intense storyline after storyline that was like, what is this realistic? No, like, I don't know that anybody's ever dealt quite that bad of a hand so close together. Like, yeah, everybody's gonna go through struggles in their lives and they're gonna take, that's just gonna happen, like that's part of life, but that frequently all during high school, probably not. You know, not every girl in high school gets pregnant and, you know, has cancer and then gets like an STD and then has to like become a stripper and like, you know, like, and no one's storyline is what I just said, but I'm just saying like, it's the equivalent of like all these things. Like, okay, that's a little bit much for like the 4 years of high school. A little bit much. I don't know. Guess what? I want it for the team. With the cancer and pregnancy, who's the baby daddy in one season? Right. That's one season. And it's like, I don't know that all that would happen in one season. Yeah, gets pregnant and dies. They also, like, kill a lot of characters towards the end of the aired show. So, like, the end of the 14 seasons. Not necessarily on Netflix, but, like, they just randomly kill people at a point. I'm like, were they depressed writing this? Thank you for the follow. I don't know. Are you sure they don't all get pregnant? Every girl in high school apparently gets pregnant, according to this show. Because they're, even, like, at the end of, you know, Claire, Allie, Jenna, all three of them had pregnancy scares, or got pregnant, or had a baby, or had something in high school. And I'm like, first of all, none of my friends, at least that I know of, unless it's like their deep, dark secret that I never knew, but none of my friends got pregnant in high school, or even had a pregnancy scare. I know like one person who had a pregnancy scare in high school of my friends, and that was it. And it was like very much not like a serious scare, you know what I mean? Oh my god, I don't know, where's the river? I have no idea where I'm going. Is the star over here? It is over there. Okay, no, I do not want you to take me to the river. So, it's like, not every girl has sex in high school, not every girl gets pregnant in high school, not every girl that has sex in high school is going to get pregnant or have a pregnancy scare. Not all of them are like, I'm just not gonna take any precaution whatsoever. Does it happen? Sure, but does it happen to every single one of them? Definitely not. So... yeah, personally the worst part of my high school experience was when someone died in every episode. You know. Now, luckily it wasn't that dramatic in Degrassi, but it does get to the point where it's like, okay, this one group of friends has had like 3 deaths within their friend group in high school. Like, I don't know about that. So, yeah, kind of weird. I feel like some things are really well depicted on Degrassi, and other things are just so dramatized that it's like laughable, or every character ends up becoming the same character at a point. That's kind of like the flaw of Degrassi, is that every character becomes the same type of person in the end, and I'm like, I don't think that's realistic, but okay. I thought that was... oh no! I thought that was me, and then it really was. Then I ran to the wrong side. Shoot, everybody sucked. One girl I went to high school with had a baby at 14. Then I ran into her at recital your senior year because her kid was old enough to be performing there. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. How funny. I taught children who were like results of a high school pregnancy. But like, again, it's like one person. Like, this doesn't happen to most people in high school. I'm very much a minority. I graduated without dying or getting pregnant. Props to you, Shliam. Oh, man. I also just don't... this has been my opinion since I was a teenager, too. I don't understand why, when it comes to, like, teens having sex, whatever, pregnancy is always depicted as, like, this horrible, worst possible thing. It's not. The STDs are way worse than getting pregnant. Like, okay, sure, no one envisions themselves having a child as a teenager, and, you know, they're not ready for it, or they're not expecting it, they're still a kid themselves, whatever. But, like, there are ways to make it work. You know, if you're lucky enough to have a supportive family or a supportive system, like, you can get through it, whereas an STD just, like, kind of sticks with you for the rest of your life, unless it's a kind with a cure, which not all of them have cures. So it's kind of like, why is that not stressed more than, like, pregnancy? I don't know. That's always stumped me. Like, shouldn't, like, that be the forefront of, like, what people are worried about if they start having sex in high school? Like, I don't know, but, like, maybe you should worry more about STDs than really weird. Just use a condom. End of the day. There you go. Anyway, oh my gosh, I love the. Okay, Manny did open the trend. Lovely Kim. She was like the OG, like 2000s pregnancy, TV pregnancy in a show like that. And there was definitely a trend in pop culture as well for a while that was like after that. Like she was at the forefront of it as far as like fiction goes. Because there are so many teen pregnancy movies and they're all ridiculous and I've seen all of them. They're all like Lifetime Hallmark movies. They're so entertaining because they're always so ridiculously dramatic. That's like one of my favorite guilty pleasure movies. Like, oh, teen pregnancy. And I love Juno is legitimately one of my favorite movies, but it was kind of in the height of that too, that was like an actual good movie. Granted, you know, I can't speak from experience, but I'm heavily fairy tale-esque in just how convenient everything is. I do not like this minigame at all, no matter which side I'm on. But yeah, there was, especially with like Teen Mom on like MTV and stuff. I never watched that show, but I know it was like really popular around that same time. You can't see what's happening in this game. This is what I'm talking about. No matter which side I'm on, I lose. If I'm the one player, I lose immediately. Yet if I'm on a team of 3, we lose somehow every single time. Did I have any gay guy friends in high school? All of my guy friends in high school, with the exception of like one, were gay. Every single one of them, because they all were dancers or involved in the arts in some way, shape, or form. And I really didn't have a lot of guy friends. I had mostly girlfriends. But yeah, I think literally every single one of my friends who was male was gay, except for like one, maybe two, 1 or 2. And I definitely had a GBF for sure. So yeah, I didn't really know. It's kind of funny, and I always say this, or I say this now, and I said this as a young adult. Like I've always been very, like, open, and I'm a very outgoing person in general, I think, just, like, open about whatever. And I guess I didn't realize, because I had, like, a lot of gay friends, that, like, it was kind of just, like, talking to my girlfriends, like, I was very forward and, like, fun, because that's just how we were, and it wasn't serious. Apparently that doesn't translate as, obviously, to, straight males. So it's like, oh, I guess I don't know. I have a very outgoing personality, more than other people, when it comes to just, like, regular old girl talk with anybody. So, you know, which I think is a good thing. It's just funny. I had a very, flamboyant group of guy friends, if that makes sense. The first thing I read was, it's a good resume builder, about what I just said, and I was like, you know, what? Oh my god, I was the GBF, not to brag. Yes, Cole, get it. Oh my god, that's great. I have no idea what Peach just did. I missed it because I was talking about cool stuff. Okay, guess what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say, oh my god, I never remember the controls for this, because I just don't. Ever. remember the controls for this. R, A. Which one am I? Oh, shoot. I thought I messed up. Whoa! Such an easy minigame against CPUs. Like, anyway. It's funny because now I have more guy friends than I have girlfriends because of what I do and like being so involved in the gaming community, and kind of all my closest friends come from the gaming community. And, you know, it's sexual orientation is not just like gay, like in high school it's like gay, straight, bi, that's it. And now there's like all kinds of different recognized sexualities, and it's like it's nobody's business but your own, you know what I mean? So like I would say most of my guy friends are straight or heterosexual, but like not all of them, and it's like it doesn't matter. It's not like a stereotype thing anymore, if that makes sense. But yeah, I have more guy friends now than I have girlfriends, and that's like such a weird place to be in with my entire life being all girls all the time. But it's great. It's such a funny dynamic. It's like, oh, my childhood was like all these girlfriends, and now my adulthood is like all these guy friends. I don't know how that happened, but it did. So anyway, the star was 2 spaces ahead. Wait, so Peach did she use a magic lamp to go 2 spaces ahead? That's so dumb. And again, I'm back in chat, so forgive me. There are pics with me surrounded by like 10 girls, and my group was the only guy that stuck through it all. My mama thought I was a player. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. I didn't realize I was gay in high school, but I still hung out with guys and girls. I feel like even if I had gone to like, I was homeschooled, so even if I had gone to like regular, like public, private school, whatever, I probably still would have mostly had girlfriends, because that's just the kind of person I am. Like, it's kind of like, I feel like, especially anymore, it's like, whoever, I don't care. But as a kid and a teenager, it was like, if there were guys in the room, I'm sus. But if there are girls, like, we're gonna be besties. Like, that's kind of how I just view things. And I think it's just because I was surrounded by so many more girls all the time. Like, at home, at dance, it's like I just could easily befriend the ladies. And I still can. You know, you'll get a rotten egg every once in a while, but, like, I would say for the most part, I'm pretty good at connecting with, like, other females, and anymore I'm good at connecting with males too, just because I'm a friendly person. I don't know, but I don't know what I'm saying. I'm rambling now, but so always not as good at this ring game as I missed it, as I think I should be. Oh, I did get it. Okay. Cool. Now where was I? Oh, I'm lost. Okay, I'm finally catching up, maybe, on chat. Ooh. Just like you, Bobo, I'm definitely a more outgoing person now than I was then. Kind of came with caring less about what other people thought. So I'll talk to anyone. My mother would be so disappointed in me because she taught me not to talk to strangers. I feel like with age, I've gotten more outgoing. Like, as a young kid, like, I was a lot shyer, but I was also, like, the youngest in my family, always outnumbered, and then it's like, I kind of had to learn how to be heard in that, and I love talking, no matter what, so I was, like, comfortable around my family, and then, like, but I've always been more of, like, a tight-knit group of close friends, rather than, like, a huge group of loose acquaintances, friends, especially growing up, and, like, so it's, like, I feel like I was friends with everybody, but I definitely, like, was choosy about who I let in deeper in some ways, but like by middle school, this is like elementary school, by middle school and high school, it was just like I really started to become more and more outgoing, and I always had a lot of confidence, so I feel like that helped. Because I've said many, many times before, like, my middle school years are like some of my favorite years of my life, and they were just so fun and like freeing, because it's like you're a kid and you're like the oldest kid you'll ever be, the youngest adult you'll ever be, because you can have some responsibility then, and like I feel like I was able to blossom and like kind of you know, realize who I was a little bit and then grow on that. So, and I also had like the same friends forever. Like I never had like a weird, oh, my friend changed drastically in middle school, which is like really, really common. Or, you know, before the age of 12, we were really close, and now I can't stand this girl or whatever. That didn't happen to me with any of my friends. So, any of my close friends, you know, anybody who like, if they change, they kind of suck to begin with, you know? So, okay, where is the star now? Because I didn't pay any attention. So other side of the river would be, I don't know. I guess I'll do this. I have no idea where this goes, but I'll do it. Ooh. Pay 5 coins, get 5 coins. Oh no, but it takes me... I didn't know where it took me for sure. Oh well, at least I got a little bit of some coins out of that. Okay, sorry. I am like so far back in chat right now. I also realize that no matter how awkward you feel in a conversation, the other person probably has the same worry and doesn't look at you weirdly. Like, yes. I'm always like, oh my god, I was so awkward about that, or like, could I have been more awkward in the way that I just said that, you know, but like, everybody is thinking that, so it doesn't really matter, it's fine, everybody's fine. Armand, in high school you had lots of girlfriends, but nowadays you have more guy friends. Oh, okay. But Gamer Snow Yoshi, welcome to the stream. Sorry, you've probably been here for a while. I'm just way back in chat. But yeah. I don't put labels on myself anymore. But I started saying I was bisexual at about 14 because it wasn't gay. Wait. Because it wasn't gay, I thought it was a label that wouldn't put me in a minority group. Oh, wow. Being a naive 14-year-old told my bio partner and a bunch of other students. Oh my goodness. I just, especially now, and I don't want this to come off the wrong way, I think it's so ludicrous that anybody has to come out, period. Like, why does anybody care if someone's gay, bi, straight, pan, whatever? Like, I don't like the idea that a certain minority group is expected to, like, announce themselves to the world. Like, oh, I have to, like, let you guys know my sexuality. And I get the idea of doing it for, like, recognition, to be like, yes, we exist, here we are. Like, it's just sad that that's necessary. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, the only reason it should matter is if you date someone. Like, it should not be this thing that's like, I have to let everybody know my personal business, because that's what it is. It's like everybody's own personal business does not need to be an announcement for, like, people to hate on or something. Like, it's just so crazy that we're still living in this kind of, like, system. It's frustrating. And, like, again, I'm not even gay. I just, like, feel... I know that if I had a child that was gay, bi, whatever, I wouldn't want them to feel like they had to tell people about it, like, to get it out of the way or something. Like, I don't want them to feel like that's necessary, like it's somebody else's business, or it's somebody else's, like, somebody else gets to have a say in it then. Like, that's not fair. Because you don't have to come out and say, I'm straight. Like, you don't. Like, you just don't. So, it's annoying that, like, this is still a thing. Like, this is something that I thought would die as time went on. For real. I'm going back in chat again because I still missed a bunch of stuff. I'm so far behind, I'm sorry. And I'm so bad at this minigame, too. Even just one button. Oh, Yoshi's bad at it, too. I feel better now. Oh, crap. I'm not paying attention. Anyway, if people who are not straight have to come out of the closet, like, everybody should have to come out of the closet. Like, everybody should have to announce their sexuality, but they don't. So, it's not fair, and it's bizarre to me. Okay, let's see. Knowing that I'm ace now is definitely very funny to look back on when I tell people relationships sounded like too much work. That's really funny. Anyway. Oh, I did not give it a ba for Gamer Snow Yoshi, because I'm just now seeing it. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Call JT because Shy Guys cry in a room. I had so many failed best friends. Literally, one girl pulled a "you know what you did" on me. I still don't know what I did. What? Bree, what did you do? Didn't do anything, but you know what you did. So dumb. I feel like people just, you know, you're like these innocent kids, and then it's like as soon as you start to grow up and get some independence, that's when people like realize like, oh, I'm gonna just suck now and be this kind of person. And that was not a very eloquent way of saying that, but I know like one of my sister's best friends, like as a kid, totally like ditched her, and suddenly like my sister wasn't good enough for her, and her own family wasn't good enough for her. Like they didn't make enough money, and she needed to fit in with a certain like social status quo. Like that's so stupid. Like what does any of this do for you other than like, does this really make you feel all high and mighty? Because it just makes you look like an idiot and look like the fool that you are for being such a loser to other people and being such a mean-spirited person. Just dumb. Dumb! Do these walls disappear forever? I guess so. Oh my gosh, I almost got burned. It's dramatic. It's not what almost happened. Why is this minigame so long? This minigame is a minute long. Not really done anything either. Ah! Okay, well, I lost, apparently. That's why I don't let social media know my sexuality, because it's none of their business. Tell my close friends about it and my family, that's it. Yeah, like, it doesn't... Unless you're dating somebody... Why does anybody, like, think it's their business? I don't get it. And maybe I was just raised in a, you know, I feel like I was raised in a pretty liberal, open-minded household. But, you know, my oldest sister, she's 10 years older than me, and her best friend in high school was a gay guy who had a boyfriend, and they would come over all the time, and this is like from the time I can remember. I mean, she's 10 years older than me, so when she's a freshman in high school, I'm like 4 years old. So I guess I grew up, you know, that was just such a known thing, like, oh, these are two guys and they're dating. Like, that was never, I never had this shock thing of like, oh my god, two boys. Like, this was never a thing. It was just normal. It was like, yeah, they're dating. Okay, great. it was never an introduction. Like, this was not a shocking thing as a kid. It was just something I grew up with. It was totally normal. And then being in the dance world, it's all, you know, there were more, particularly gay men in the dance world. Obviously there are gay women too, but I'm just saying, like, you know, like, there were less guys, most of them were gay. It was just, like, kind of how things were. Like, that was the reality of it, and so it was never this big thing that was like, how could people be like this? And, like, I don't understand. Gay women were not allowed to dance. No, that's not what I mean. I'm just saying, like, you know, that's not as obvious, I guess, because, like, there are so many more girls in dance than guys, and, like, so it just wasn't as obvious, I guess. I don't know, but, regardless, it's, I know, just the way you said it made me laugh. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say it in a weird way. No gay women dance. No, that's not true at all. But, I don't know, it's just like a normal thing. I didn't really think it needed to be, like, this huge deal, because it wasn't, and I guess other people don't grow up this way, so, and, you know, obviously, like, I'm a white woman, I'm Catholic, cool, and so sometimes, you know, if people just know that about me, I'll get put in this box, like, super, like, single-minded, and have this, like, you know, that can put you in a box of, like, oh, this, like, privileged white girl that's Catholic that doesn't have to deal with these things, but, like, that's not, I also have a brain, and I have a heart, and, like, I would never believe these, like, things that cause harm to any particular group, or, like, cause people to think they're not worthy, or they're less than, like, that's not a thing. So, like, you know, the people who put me in that box, I would say it says more about them than it does about me for having, faith and a personal relationship with my own religion. That's also a personal thing. It doesn't have to do with anybody else, but, like, I would never put an entire group down. I would never subscribe to putting an entire group down. And it's funny too, because, like, that was something when I was getting confirmed as a Catholic, like, the priest who confirmed me, I got confirmed with my sister, and we talked to him about it. I was like, how can this religion say, like, being gay is wrong or something? Because it's not. Like, it's just part of life. Like, it's just how people are born. Like, that's who they are. And the priest who I grew up with, who talked to, was like, you know, you have to understand that the Bible itself is a very old material written in a different time than now. Certain ideas have to be adapted to now because they don't apply anymore, and that's one of them. No one would ever be, like, refused from the church for that if they're genuinely being led by someone who is a compassionate human being that's, like, following the whole morality of, like, Jesus. Like, that would not be something that he would do. He would never be like, oh, well, not this person. Like, literally went against that in the Bible for what was, like, oh, risque at the time. So it's like, that doesn't, things have to update, and things have to, like, that these old ideas don't stay. Like, you know, and I don't talk about any of that a lot on here, but it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, here's a leader within the church who's saying, like, no, that's not, like, if someone's gay, that's fine. Like, you know what I mean? So, and I'm somebody who I have a lot of faith, and I have a lot of belief, personal belief with my religion and everything, but, you know, my belief would never be to put any particular group down, and if there are people that are using it to put a particular group down, it's just an excuse. Like, it's just a way of, like, validating hate, which is not acceptable. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on that, and my what I grew up with. So I guess I grew up with, like, liberal thinkers. How do I get over here if I go this way, by the way? This is unrelated to anything we were just talking about. Can I go? That's so far away! I can't even... Okay, I don't even know. I'm just gonna go around and hope somebody else gets the star, because I want it to move over here. Ah! Anyway. So yeah, I've never been told by any kind of religious leader that I've ever been involved with that, like, oh, that's wrong, like, no, just can't, no explanation, like, that's what you have to go by, like, no. So. Anyway, I picked A this time. Hopefully nobody else picks A. So yeah, I think you just gotta try and be the best person that you can be and as kind as you can be in this crazy, crazy world. But yeah, I'm definitely, and I'm, oh no, why did you go on the same one as me? Like I said, I'm definitely a religious person and everything, but it's a personal, and it should be personal for everybody. It's not like up for someone else to be like, well, actually, like, that's not how that works. Just like it's not up to somebody else to go like, oh, well, you say you're gay, but actually you're not. It's just like, no, that's not how that works. Like, you know, people are just crazy, so. Mapsy, welcome to the chat and welcome to the stream, by the way. And, you know, oh, thanks, Booey. I appreciate that. I don't know if that's what I would do, but I appreciate you saying that. But yeah. Yeah, exactly, Armand. That's all it comes down to. Like, it's not up to anybody, especially any, like, human being be like, well, actually, you're wrong. Like, no. Like, that's not a thing. For just who you are, and it's trying to be a good person and not hurting anybody. People do horrible things on Earth. Being themselves and having a sexuality isn't one of them. So, you know, it's crazy how much the way you're raised can influence you. My mom was raised a very Catholic and conservative household where homosexuality was sinful. Over the years, I've really seen her come around in her views. She was never against same-sex relationships, but now I see her being defensive on behalf of LGBT. See, exactly! And I think, like, a lot of it, like, for people, if they don't have to personally deal with it, like, it's easy to say, like, oh, well, this is so wrong, you know, like, we were even talking earlier about, like, oh my god, teen pregnancy, like, there are a lot of people that could be like, oh, that's so stupid, how could you not do this, how could you blah, 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 but it's like, have you ever been in that situation? Have you ever dealt with that? Probably not, so you probably don't really know what you're talking about, and you're just, like, passing a judgment based on, like, the fact that you didn't have to deal with that, and that you think you did the right thing because you don't have to deal with it or whatever. So I feel like it's just that, but then the second you have to deal with somebody who is going through that, or it happens to somebody you love, or it happens to you, then it, like, might change your mind about it a little bit. So I totally get that, Cole. But she's so happy for my brother and his boyfriend. It's awesome to see because it can be hard to break out of the shell you were raised in. And I feel like just depending, like, generationally, like, older generations are gonna struggle more with, like, things that were not commonplace at the time of their growing up. Like, that's gonna be something to adapt to. Like, everybody's gonna have that as they get older, as, like, new concepts become more commonplace than what you ever knew or were told. It's like I've said earlier, like, when I was in high school, it was like you were gay, you were straight, or you were bi. There was not really any in between, no open mind, like, no open, well, actually, what? We were right there! We were robbed. So, I grew up in a Catholic household, but I would say it was very liberal, not conservative. Obviously. I am not playing on emulator. I am playing on the GameCube with my GameCube disc. Also giving it a ba for Drift Looney. I am playing on the actual GameCube. So. Right, I grew up in a Catholic liberal household as well, let's go. But yeah, it's easy to be like, oh, all Catholics are super conservative and have these specific beliefs that are just like... No, like, we're all people. Like, you know, no one deserves to be put in a box for this label that they identify with. My parents never supported me. I'm happy that I didn't get kicked. Like, that is when people kick out their kids for their sexuality is just absolutely insane to me. Like, I can't imagine. So, and I'm so sorry to anybody who has to deal with that, because that's just not fair. My dad did threaten to take me out of choir and theater because he was convinced that arts made... that's just ignorant thinking. It's like, no, nothing makes you gay. Nothing makes you straight either. Like, I'm a very girly girl. Like, I really am. I'm very girly. I love makeup. I love glitter. I love anything stereotypically girly. I love it, you know. And that's just the way I am. And it's not like, oh, well, because I was, like, a dancer who wore tutus and fun sparkly costumes and everything. That's not why. Like, that's just who I am. That didn't make me that way. The way that I am made me love being part of that even more because it encompassed all of these things that I naturally love. But surprisingly, my church is supportive of LGBTQIA+. Sorry, I'm just gonna say LGBT+, Q+. Talk about being progressive. That's awesome. Oh god, I'm not good at this! I don't think the hold down method works with this either. Or maybe it does. I don't know. Oh shoot, I'm rolling other... This is where people cheat on my board. Oh, the champion! See, it does work. You see what I'm doing, you guys? Absolute BS, and it's working. All I did was hold down and spam the A button a bunch. Sick combos. I really tried. Oh, man. I know. I don't understand why people get just support each other. Why do people have to suck? I don't know, Phantom. Like, obviously, like, you're not gonna always understand everything that's going on with everybody around you, or like the things that other people are going through, the way that other people feel about certain things that you just aren't, you know, you haven't had to deal with. You know, I'll never know what it's like to be, I'll never know what it's like to be asexual. I'll never know what it's like to be, like, going through transgender or gender identity. Like, I won't, like, because it's just not something that I have to deal with. Like, I'm not in that group. So I'll never know firsthand. But, like, I would never judge or put down someone because of, like, that's just bizarre. So, I don't know. I would just want everybody to, like, be able to find themselves and be who they are. Anyway, gamer moves! You got it. As Lady Gaga said, God makes no mistakes. It's true. Switching gears, but that was sick! Thank you. I've turned out to be a pro gamer after all. Who knew? But I guess, like, every human being is flawed. We all make mistakes. None of us are perfect. We all pass judgment without meaning to or really even wanting to. Like, it just happens. Everybody's guilty of that. Everybody has the capacity to be mean. Everybody has the capacity to be nice. Like, everybody, yes, we all have different capacities in different ways, but, like, what you act on and how you treat other people is, like, the most important. Anyway, I don't even know what's going on with this game. I have been, like, sorry, we just took, like, a deep cut, super philosophical talk out of, I don't know, we just went there. Dang, turn 23? I've been gabbing away. Oh, sweet. I prefer to be a nasty person than blame it on my Zodiac sign. What? Oh, how could you? And I am playing as Wario, yes. Yeah, sometimes the conversations are way more fun or way more interesting than the game. Yeah, there we go. That's what, actually, Cole, that's what we all secretly do, but we're just not so bold as to admit it, I guess. I'm kidding. Oh my god. I don't even know what my Zodiac sign means about me, other than, like, I know that I'm a Libra and I get along well with other Libras, which is exceedingly true because so many of my friends are Libras, and I also get along really well with Scorpios, because many of my other friends are Scorpios. That's about all I know. And I've heard, like, oh, Libras love hard, which I do, so okay, maybe we do. I do. When I love something, I am very passionate. You know, it can scare people, I guess. You guys have seen me get passionate when I talk, and it can be scary sometimes. And then I'm like, yes! Or, no! I don't know. Amazing description just now, but... I'm not paying attention whatsoever, and I feel like with this minigame, it doesn't even help me to pay attention. I just kind of wing it. 2 ice creams. Oh wow, Yoshi found them both. Okay, I really didn't do much with that minigame. Wow, according to my Zodiac sign, I'm the greatest of all time. I'm the GOAT. Ooh. Yeah. I usually get weird or borderline rude comments for being— what? That's odd. See, things shouldn't go that deep. With, like, people should not be like, oh, well. So weird. Sounds about right. My boyfriend's a Libra and he loves pretty hard. Yeah. Wow, I listened to Squidward who says Taurus are the most clumsy and oafish of all the Zodiac signs, which is the most truth I've heard thus far from astrology. I know Virgos are supposed to be kind of like cold, I guess, like, or come off that way, and I feel like that's accurate for me. I'm a Gemini and we get called two-faced, but I just have 2 personalities. I'm a Virgo, Aquarius here, I get along with a lot of different types of people. According to my Zodiac sign, I'm just crabby. Wow, yo. Let's see, Lovelykin, Gemini are very spontaneous to a certain degree. Purposely against astrology because an ex-fling I had for a month was really into it. This was 3 years ago. I have residual anger because I'm a Taurus. Capricorn, but I don't have that much grasp on it, kinda. That's kinda how I am with Libra. Like, I'm a Libra! I'm all about balance, but balance was what I was weakest at in dance, and I have no balance in my life at all. So, there you go. Maybe that's it. I struggle with balance. Amazing description for myself. Oh gosh, what am I doing? 3, 1, 2, 3, or... I never know where the star is! Isn't there a way to... No, it's not this game. This game does not easily tell you what's up there. I got it. Oh, I have a magic lamp I forgot about too. So we're gonna use that. Well, since I'm like on my way, I might wait to use it. Oh, he's happy again! Yay! 2 best friends in life are Libras. Rainbow Road. Let's go. Go for Alex. Welcome to the stream. And yo-yo cancers are usually very emotional or not emotional at all. It's one or the other. Yeah, I can see that. My husband's a Cancer, so... Everything I've ever read about Geminis is like, they're so outgoing and love to socialize, and I'm like, I've never related to anything less! Now, if it said that about Libras, I would heavily relate, because I'm very outgoing and I love to socialize. Like, I will not stop talking. I really do. I love to socialize. I love my alone time too, but I don't want to be around everybody. Let's see. My aunt's a Virgo. She's very judgmental, but also the most selfless person I know. I want to be her, single, ripped, lives with her dog with a view of NYC in a nice car, spoils her nieces and nephews with no kids of her own. Why are we going into the wall? I don't know. I have no idea how to get out of this situation, so... Look, if I stop, Peach just doesn't try. Anyway. This is maybe my least favorite board of this game. I don't ever remember where anything is. I don't usually play this board super often because I'm not a big jungle person, but like jungle theme person in games. Another thing I've read about Virgos is that we're supposed to be confident, which is definitely not true of me. Oh no. My brother's like you for sure. Like Shliam. There we go. Except I don't know what did Shliam say? Oh no, you said everything says you're so outgoing and low. That's what it was in response to, sorry. Brandon, I don't know if I ever said hi to you. I think you've been here a while though. I always forget the purpose of zodiac signs, but since we're talking about it, I'm a Sagittarius. I'm very loyal and caring. There you go. I'm a Cancer, so emotional, yes! Odie's pretty emotional. He's a pretty emotional person. Which is one of the things I love about him, is that he's able to like tap into his emotions and acknowledge them and find strength in them. You know, I hate when dudes, especially guys, are like, oh, I'm too macho to cry. Like, what? You're just showing how weak you are because you can't recognize emotion. Anyway, do you like gossip? Oh my god. That is my biggest guilt in life is gossip. That's my kryptonite where I'm like, let's talk about this, and it's like, why am I doing this? I'm way too interested in business where I have no business. That's kind of my my biggest flaw. I'm so nosy. That's why I just say it. I'm like, guys, I'm nosy AF. Like, I really am. I'm super nosy. It's gotten me in trouble more than once. What can I say? So, my aunt and her daughter are Libras, and we're like, in gossip, like, yeah, it's bad. But it's like, I don't gossip, like, for the sake of, like, spreading rumors and making somebody look bad. I gossip because it's, like, a guilty pleasure to be like, did you see that this happened to so-and-so? Like, it's usually true stuff that I'm talking about. But I do speculate a lot, so that's another thing. And I am like one of the most observant people, so like, I don't miss a lot, so like that's, I feel like a blessing and a curse. And I also have like one of the best memories of anybody I know for some reason, like, and I know that's gonna sound really like arrogant, but I remember things that nobody would ever bother remembering. I've just always had a really good memory, to the point where people are like, are you stalking me? And I'm like, no, I just remember this thing that you told me. And they're like, because they would never remember something that tiny about me, you know? That's just, again, a blessing and a curse. I have a great memory, but it's not always appreciated. And in Odie's case, it's like, you have an amazing memory, and I will never get away with, not that he would try to get away with something, but he'll never get, like, I will remember everything that he's ever said, like, in times when he doesn't remember what he said, and he gets in trouble. Alright, let's play the lottery. Hey, well, I did have all twos. I better win this because I'm right before the star. I don't think I'm gonna get it this turn, though. Crap. Anyway, if I don't get it, then if I pass the star, I might pass the star. I have a magic lamp. It was worth a try. I'm gonna pass the star. Dang it! Stupid! This game hates me! I should have just used my magic lamp or not played the lottery. Maybe I shouldn't have played, but I was really banking on that 100. 50. Alright, I need other people's money from this game, so go with the butterfly game, because we saw the other one earlier and I sucked. Yeah. I have a photographic memory too. If I see something, like if I go somewhere and I've been there once, like I'll remember where everything is, whereas other people are like, I've been here once, I don't remember, and I'm like, I do. I don't know. Definitely have a photographic memory. And then like I'm an auditory learner. If I hear somebody say something, I'll remember it that way. Dang it! And you know, maybe the photographic memory was also developed through dance, but it's already something that I just like had. I'm trying to get all the blues. I'm trying to win this so I can like actually have money for the star on my next turn. Since I ruined it for myself this turn. Come on. I can remember obscure bits of Mario trivia, of course. I feel like Odie just can remember everything about every video game he's ever played. But it doesn't work in other realms. He won't remember things about his life, but he'll remember everything about video games. Anyway. Nick Ninja, welcome to the chat! I'm gonna play Double Dash tonight as part of my beginning of my birthday tradition. All Cup Tour, baby! I'm so happy that I got Double Dash working on Monday because I had a scare with my disc where it just would not read. I cleaned it with a cotton ball and rubbing alcohol and it did the trick, so. And at first I thought it was my GameCube. I was like, oh no, my GameCube's quitting on me, but then I put this game in here and it was fine. Excuse me. Well, I'm gonna lose this, because I talked about this earlier, how this minigame is just like, oh, ready to lose? Have fun. No! Don't do it. So sad I can't make the 1 PM streams anymore. Maybe I'll start watching... Wait, whose streams are you talking about, Cole? Just reminds me of the one time in college I had one guy I was maybe friends with, but I'd completely blanked on his name, so when I saw him outside of the comedy event we met at, I just blurted out, Percy! Thinking that was his name. I guess it wasn't because he was like, what? And I just walked away all embarrassed, like, never mind. Oh my god, no. My streams? But Cole, I haven't streamed at 1 PM in like forever. Unless you're talking about like, well, I don't even think you were here at the beginning of the stream. Yeah, I only do 8 PM now. I'm Monday, Friday, Saturday at 8 PM. I do not stream at 4 AM. Don't believe Psycho. I knew you were gonna say that and I was gonna look like a fake fan. No, you're all good. I only stream at 8 PM now. I did it so that like, I feel like there were multiple reasons. I also released the like survey at the end of the year last year that most of you filled out in favor of all my streams being at the same time, which made things easier for me. It makes it easier for you to keep track of, and I also think you know, my daytime, I feel like the audience during the day was just shrunken anyway because people, not as many people were around during the day, like that are watching in their particular time zones. It's better at night. And you know, I feel bad for my, those of you across the pond who never get to watch these live because it's in the middle of the night or something, but it's just, there were so many more people that worked with the evening Eastern time zone that like I had to go with what majority, could benefit from, especially since I back up my streams anyway and there's a secondary way to watch. But yeah, honey, you shrunk the audience, oh no. But yeah, I stream only exclusively at 8 PM now, unless unless there's some reason for it. Like next Saturday I'm gonna have to do an afternoon stream because I have a conflict at night, but I don't want to not stream that day. Like, I definitely want to have my stream because it's my monthly Just Dance stream. It's because all those battle games that Waluigi has that much money. Now I can't use my lamp until I get more either. Anyway. Oh. Yeah. Oh, Dilly, are you just stretchy back there? Dilly's just so cozy on the couch, you guys. Alright, can I get some coins? No, I don't even have... I don't have 5 coins to give you. I think also, after this turn, I'm gonna take a little potty break, because I haven't taken a break yet, and I need to use the bathroom. So... Anyway, how's it going, Lily Lang? Welcome to the chat, welcome to the stream. Welcome to this BS soccer game. Soccer minigame. I just watched, I guess this week felt so long. I think, again, because I was waiting on today and getting the results to my, endometriosis situation and seeing if I had to have surgery. But anyway, so this week felt like it was really long. But I watched She's the Man this week, which is one of my favorite movies. Like, one of my favorite movies. I love it. And it's just, it's so fun to watch movies that you loved in high school that still, like, hold up. The comedy or whatever. I love Amanda Bynes. But that's my favorite movie of hers. Like, it's just so funny. And I love that it's loosely based on, like, Shakespeare. Like, what a funny concept. It's great. Anyway, I said I was gonna take a break, and then Peach wouldn't let me because she immediately had to go shopping when I could not press the pause button. So, cool. Okay, so I will be right back, you guys. I'm gonna just use the bathroom really quick, and then we will resume with turn 27. So, BRB. Hey guys, it's MadameWario. Welcome back to the game. Welcome back to Friday Night Mario Party 4. I just had to take a quick potty break and reheat my chai here before we got back to it. So welcome back everybody. Jilly had to get up and beg for food, so she's no longer back on the couch, but she just had to beg even though she has food. Anyway, I'm trying to get 20 coins to use my magic lamp at the moment because I took a risk that did not end up paying off to get the star when I asked it. So, fun stink. I played the lottery and I shouldn't have, apparently. But welcome back, everybody. Hopefully you were able to stretch your legs or do what you needed to do, get some water or something during the little break there. Thanks for all the cheese. I love it. Uh-oh. I feel like that's the only time Shy Guy has been happy with one of the CPUs. I feel like every other time he's been upset and caused the river to start flowing. Wow, okay, I guess I'm just going 2 steps back. Fun times! Anyway. Fish and Drips. Is this the Rumble game? No, this is the one we played earlier where you have to, like, press the right button. The one I'm thinking of is the battle game. Why? Let's go. I have to concentrate way too hard on these games. Ah! R. At least I kind of have X and Y down. God, that's a miracle. Okay, anyway. I should play this style of Mario Party often? Mario Party 4, you mean? It's a fun one. All the ones on GameCube are great. Like, I don't think you can go wrong with any of the N64 games or with any of the GameCube games. You can't go wrong until, like, some of the later games that are not as amazing. But this is not one of them. And this is honestly, I feel like 4 is the weakest of the Mario Parties on GameCube. That's just my opinion, and it's still great. So, like, for it being the weakest and it's still this good, like, come on, they're all gold. Yeah, not a bad egg in the bunch until 9. I also love 8. Yeah, you can't go wrong with any Mario Party between 1 and 8. She just had enough. I was like, did she use that and not have enough? But yeah, that's my #1 complaint with 4. I wish the boards were more immersive. It's always been my biggest complaint. And I wish the items were a little bit... I wish the item system worked differently. Like, with item spaces, you didn't just get the choice between a large mushroom or a mini mushroom. Like, I wish it was... you could get any item. So they kind of missed the boat on that a little bit. But... dang it, I'm so close. But there's no way because Yoshi's gonna get it now. All Mario Parties are good, but my favorite will forever be Mario Party 8. It's a good one. Mario Party 8 is great. That's one of my top 5, for sure. Random fun fact, but Mario Party 8 was originally going to be on... Yes, it was! And that's why the screens are so wonky, where some of them are widescreen and some of them are not. I used to say my top 3 Mario Parties were 1, 2, and 8. Like, what a funny thing. Like, skipping all the way to 8, but... I would still say it's still up there for me. Anyway, the items feel like a watered-down version of 3s, and the boards are weaker than most games. However, the mini-games are top-notch. Yeah, that is the, like... biggest saving grace with N4. I love, gosh, we've seen this 3 times now. I love the mini games in this game. They're great. Board immersion could be way better, let's be real. It's just kind of, you know, lackluster. Item system, I think, is done poorly. Unless you go to the item shop, then it's fine, but otherwise it's just not very well done. I am out immediately. And I love the lottery system. I wish that was in other games. It's really like only in this game, and it was just such a fun little extra bit. Yeah, the reason the boards in 4, I say this every time, but the reason they are more bland is just because they're a grid on top of a backdrop pretty much, with some little decorations here and there, and it's like, whereas the other games have like these fully immersive boards where like, you know, it's not on top of a backdrop, it's all one piece. It feels a little bit odd that they went with this choice, but other parts of like the graphics are great. I don't know why they didn't do that with like the entirety of the board, if they thought it was too busy or something. I have no idea. But oh my gosh. I can feel like sinus pressure behind my eye. It's been such a nice week, but we keep having like these flips, the classic spring flip of like an 80-degree day followed by a 45-degree day, and it just makes my sinuses go and do weird, my sinuses are like doing the wave, and I always feel it. It's like pressure right here that like goes behind my eye or like right in my temple. It's like, oh, just no. It's that time of year. Spring sinuses, spring allergies, like it's all in Dang, Yoshi. You must be stopped. Anyway, hi Julie! Hi Julie, what are you doing? You digging in the couch cushions for some reason? Oh my, get cozy. She's like, I gotta be part of this. Oh dang it, I had 20? Sorry guys, I should have used my lamp, but I didn't realize, I didn't think I had enough coins. I need to address the scene in this game after the credits. It makes me so sad. Like, the party cube just vanishes into space and then it ends. I don't even remember. Like, I honestly do not remember, Cole. Why does it have to do that? It freaked me out as a child. I don't remember that sequence. Maybe we'll watch the credits after this for fun then. I don't remember it at all. Not to, you know, trigger you, Cole, but I love this minigame too. It's so simple, but it's so fun visually, and like, this is a minigame that would be fun to play in real life. Please don't watch the credits. Julie, what do you think? Julie's watching. Julie, you watching the game? You're so sweet. She doing the big sniff. You love it? Do you? You good girl? Are you a good girl? Mama's baby? She's like, you're saying something to me, but I don't understand. Do you not understand? Julie. She's just not sure. She knows that I'm talking to her, but she doesn't really know what I'm wanting from her. Julie really does like watching TV. She gets very absorbed into certain things, and so she's watching right now. She likes what's going on the screen. She's a silly kitty. That's one of the things that she's always liked, though, has been watching TV. She'll follow whatever's on there. Anyway. Oh my god, I love the Starlift music from Mario Party 3. That is like my anti-anxiety song. So he got the one over here, for sure. He literally just got it and I wasn't paying attention. My cat's asleep in her little cat bed. Oh. Really just getting that good mental stimulation from watching what's on TV. I know! She loves it. You see that big genie? She's so focused in. Like, look. You see her golden eyes? I'm gonna press A. Genie's gonna jump. What's he doing, Julie? What's he doing? She's like, I don't know. I gotta know. She is laser focused on this screen right now. You love it? Julie, did you watch? I got it. You loved it, didn't you? You good girl? Are you a good girl?
Everybody wants to be a cat.
She keeps putting her ear back like, I don't understand what you're saying.
Can't talk right now. I am fixated on the genie's massive crotch.
She really was. She really was, Cole. Thank you for the bits. I know it was supposed to be Jilly, but you got Kit. It's like she's watching a movie. So cute. It really is. Do I want to take the raft? I don't know. Never get over this genie looking like he's pregnant. He really does. The Prego genie. I don't know where this goes, so sure. I don't know. So cute. We went from needing melon pants to needing a maternity dress. We did. Genie. Oh no, this isn't what I want. Because the star is up in the... Oh wait, no, this is good. This is fine. This is almost exactly where I just was. And I'm on the way to the star. I know, that feature does not get shown enough. I didn't even remember that was part of this board. This again? Oh my gosh, I've only played it once and it was too much. And get ready for the ASMR, because you know my controller is gonna just vibrate like there's no tomorrow. Yeah, that genie must have been on Degrassi, for sure. He's pregnant, what do you know? Oh no. Oh, I goofed. Lakitu takes so long! Like, how deep is this hole? Well, there's like, almost. Unless they really screw up and we really nail the ending, there's no way. Oh my god, I am mashing this button! They have to, like, not get this, which they're not being super quick about. Come on, Peach. Come on. Peach. We have a chance. Okay. We had no chance with this balloon at the end. Like, there is no way. The LNR ASMR. It's true. I love the genie must have been on Degrassi. Yeah. Yo, Yoshi is like in it to win it. Julie, isn't he in it to win it? Yeah. She's like, that's great. Please do it, Peach. Come on. Oh, what? All losers immediately. That reminds me, I've been watching, I don't know why this reminded me of it. I just thought of this. This had nothing to do with anything, but speaking of fun things this week, I want to I want to remind everybody that I did see the Mario movie for the second time, and I finally recorded my podcast. It went live on Patreon today, so if you're part of my Patreon, if you're subscribed on there, you can access it right now, download it, do whatever you need to do. If you are not part of my Patreon, I will be releasing it publicly next Friday. So next weekend I'll release it to the public, to anybody and everybody. So just keep an eye out for that. But in addition to having watched the Mario movie, going to see the Mario movie in theaters again, which was super fun, and I just love going to the movies. I watched She's the Man, like I said before I took my break. It had been a long time since or a while since I'd watched it. I love that movie. It's like one of those movies that's like, I could just keep watching it because it's funny and I love it. I watched that, and then I started watching, The Golden Girls was on TV, so I watched it, and it was very end of the series, so like, I literally watched the last 2 episodes of the entire series last night. So it's kind of weird when you turn on a show and it's like, you watch the ending and then it circles back to the beginning. Because usually you catch the middle somewhere, so it's not often you see the very beginning or the very end. I love The Golden Girls, one of my favorite shows of all time. I've got my little Golden Girls, this is always on my desk, but my little Golden Girls snow globe. It's their house, Blanche's house, with like the palm trees around it, and has pink glitter. It also lights up, but it lights up like rainbow. It's super cute. But yeah, I do love The Golden Girls. Ooh, represent, but I've never pulled the little, like, plastic guy out, so it'll light up. I know, it's definitely a comfort show. And it's a show I watched all through my childhood, loved as an adult. I don't have any TV services other than Peacock. Like, I ended up getting the, like, 99-cent a month for 12 months deal. Last year when I was trying to figure out a way to watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, because that's like my tradition. Oh, okay. Anyway, so there was a deal going on, so literally $1 a month, and it comes with some like live TV channels. I forget about it a lot, so I forget that like Odie and I have that. We are able to like turn on the TV and see what movies are on or whatever. Like I forget it's a thing. But like this week I was like, oh, I remembered it was a thing, and so Golden Girls plays like every night on the Hallmark Channel, and it's one of the few TV channels I actually have access to, so I've just been turning it on just to have something on, and, for comfort. Especially since I had a lot of, I was very anxious this week leading up to my verdict on surgery. You've never seen it? It's a fantastic show. It really is. It's a great show. Chomp, what are you on right now? You're just hovering over lava. You're on the edge of lava rock, but you're kinda just in the lava. Oh, sweet, I got the pity coin. Anyway, I mostly just watch to see the Mario movie again. I mostly just want, to see the Mario movie again to see if I can catch the things I missed the first time. That's exactly why I wanted to go see it again, Phantom. I was like, oh, come on, we gotta see it on the big screen again. I want to go and I want to watch for things this time. So that's what Odie and I did earlier this week. And I want to see, I think the next movie coming out that I really want to see is the Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. That comes out, I think, at the end of the month. I think it comes out at the end of this month. I probably won't see it until May, but I do want to see it. Yes. Rumble Fishing. The best. Anyway, my sister-in-law, Zenonia, saw Dungeons and Dragons, which I don't play Dungeons and Dragons. I'm not particularly interested in the game itself, but she said the movie was really good, so I'm like, oh, well, maybe we'll go see it then. And I know Odie would like it. He loves Dungeons and Dragons, so D&D. But it's like it's a nerdy, like, subject matter, like, I can appreciate it, you know. So if you've seen that, what'd you think of it? Was it good? Did you like it? But yeah, I feel like we're getting to the time of year, like, especially in the summer, there's like one movie a month coming out that I want to see. Because I'm pretty sure, like, I think The Little Mermaid comes out in June, I want to say, and then like the Barbie movie comes out in July, so it's like one movie per month. Gosh, I do not want to drive this thing. I told you guys, I do not enjoy driving this boat. Both times I've gotten this tonight, I've had to drive the boat. Oh, Little Mermaid's late May. Maybe that's why I thought it was June. Regardless, I probably will not see it until June then. Because I don't know that I'll go see it like right away. I'll probably wait for like discount day or something. Or maybe not. I guess it just depends on what's going on, but hydrate. Thanks, Lily. I still need to see the Mario movie for the first time. You gotta go, Cole. You gotta see it. Asbeth, Mario Party is... It's kind of a close game. Like, I know, like, Yoshi's leading, but it would just take... At this rate, it would take me a clean sweep of... oh my gosh, what am I trying to say? Bonus stars to beat him because he has more coins than I do. But we've been getting a lot of battle minigames. And of course, when we got the one I could actually win easily, it was for 5 coins, so... I don't know, it's still anyone's game. We have 4 turns left. It's a close game, though, because everybody else has 3 stars. Well, now, Waluigi's gonna have 4, but... Anyway, my friends have been saying they want to see the Barbie movie. I definitely am going to see the Barbie movie. Cross the Spider-Verse is... Oh, that's right! That was one of the previews of the Mario movie. Both times Odie and I saw it. And that was one of those animated films, like, it kind of looks like he's holding his belly. Anyway, that was one of those films that, the first movie, the first Spider-Man, like, Spider-Verse movie, Odie was like, we have to go see this, and it was his turn to pick, and I'm like, I mean, you kind of have to pull my leg. Is that right? Pull my leg, twist my arm, whatever. You have to twist my arm. Is it pull my leg or twist my arm? I don't know what the phrase is, but anyway, you kind of have to twist my arm, I think is the phrase, to get me to go to superhero movies, to get me to go to, like, Marvel, whatever the heck. I'm just not a superhero movie person. This isn't me, is it? Okay, good. Anyway, so you have to convince me. And Odie loves superhero movies, so a lot of the time when he gets to pick, that's what he chooses. And that was one that he was like, come on, it's gotten, like, amazing reviews, like, you'll really love it. And I'm like, okay, like, I do like Spider-Man. I tend to like Spider-Man the most of any of those movies, and I didn't even know there was an animated movie. And, like, I came out of the theater and I loved it. Like, it was so good, and the animation style was so cool and so different, and, like, very well done. I was definitely a big fan, and I was like, okay, I'm definitely seeing the second one, so I'm sure we'll go see the sequel to that as well. I didn't realize that came out so soon, even though I saw the preview of it twice in theaters. I guess I paid no attention to the date. But that's another one we'll for sure go see, because we saw the first one and both of us really enjoyed it. But yeah. Superhero movies make me feel so stupid, like I never know what's going on! Yeah, I'd never watch them on my own, Cole. I would never watch them on my own. It's just, I end up watching them because Odie wants to see them. And some of them I really enjoy, and others I'm just like, you know, not my thing. Like, it's fine, but it's not anything I would ever seek out or watch again on my own kind of deal. Like, my family has been doing a rotation where we rotate between me, Odie, my mom, and sister, and each of us picks one of our favorite movies that at least one person between the four of us has not seen already. And every time it's Odie's turn, he's been picking a superhero movie. What are they called? Multiverse? I don't know. He's been watching but he's like, I'm picking these because it's the only way I'll ever get you to watch them. And he's not wrong. So, unless he like happens to be watching a new one and I'm in the room and I just kind of casually catch it. Yeah, they are long. The Marvel Cinematic Universe. Sir Pete said Cinematic Universe, but yeah.
Well, we're gonna stop at.
But is it what, like number 15?
It's a while in, yeah. But there's a lot of ways to go, but we'll stop at one. I won't make you watch all of them, but we will stop at one.
I mean, I've seen some of the more recent ones anyway.
Trust me.
Okay, well, anyway, he's right. That's the only way that I will watch them. So he's been picking all of those. And it's actually my turn next to pick. So far, we're only on the 3rd round of doing this, so like, the first movie I picked was Soul, which is fantastic if you haven't seen it. Deep cut, but fantastic. Especially considering it's animated. It's just great. Just watch it. Second movie I picked was Scott Pilgrim. And now I'm kind of like, I have 2 choices just depending on the mood of the night that we end up watching a movie, and how late it is, because one of my choices is like really long and the other one's like 90 minutes, you know. So uh-oh, Big Bowser, he might steal a star. Oh no. Oh, okay, never mind. Bowser game. Into the Spider-Verse is a legit masterpiece, and I say that as someone who doesn't care about superheroes. Same. I agree. I 100% agree, Shliam. It was great, and I don't give a crap about superhero movies either. Oh, I forgot these games were even in this or like this. Balluno of Dumo! Let's go. No. I think we know how this goes. Ground pound until you lose. Or until someone loses. As a guy growing up, or rather just a human in society, I always feel reassured saying someone else isn't into superhero movies. It makes you feel weird not being into them because it's such a big thing. Bigger! Bah! Okay. Yeah, I just, you know, and we all have our things. And that's just not one of them for me. But I feel like every time Odie has me watch one of these movies, I do enjoy it. Like, I don't think that there's been one that I'm like, well, I hated that. Obviously I like some better than others, and most of them I wouldn't watch again on my own, or I wouldn't be like, I need to see that again, like, oh my god. But like, I don't think there has been one that's been like, oh, that was stupid, or like, I don't see what you see in it. Like, I can see the potential in them. However, they all have the same thing in every single one of them. Because, you know, there's gotta be some kind of action, like, big fight in the end between the big super guy and the big super villain, whatever. You know, they all kind of have the same thing happening. Oh, well, the head-to-head face-off, whatever. I mean, that happens in a lot of movies, not just superhero movies, but it's more like, you know, I can feel it! Exactly. Bowser, exactly. But they always have these scenes, and it's always a big action scene where there's like a lot of running and sometimes like karate, sometimes gymnastics, flipping or dodging, or there's flying, or there's something, and something's crumbling and other things are exploding. And I have no idea what I'm looking at. Like, I don't know where they are. I don't know what's going on in the background. I don't know if they're supposed to be, like, where they are supposed to be on this ground that's crumbling, or this sky that's falling, or whatever. Like, every single one of them has a scene like that. That is just, where I feel like the only person who understands what's happening and what they're looking at is the person who did, like, the CGI and designed it. Every single time. So I always get lost there, Cole, if that makes you feel any better. And I'm like, I have no idea what I'm looking at. There's just a lot of big boom and explosion and crumble and and then they escape. Wow. Or someone gets hurt. Oh no. You know, I just never can follow it. I'm like, what am I looking at? My favorite comment, and I tweeted this because I could not stop laughing over how ridiculous. My mom clearly just does not always follow what's going on, period, based on this comment, because we just watched Odie's most recent pick of movie was Thor. I'd never seen Thor, and my mom had never seen Thor. And his first two picks were like the first two Iron Man movies. So it was like Iron Man, Thor. The movie ends, the credits are rolling, and my mom goes, so, oh, is Thor Iron Man's dad? I was like, what? So was Thor Iron Man's dad? And I like could not stop laughing over that because I'm like, Mom? What? Like, where did you get this? Where did you get this idea?
Get up yourself.
Iron Man, I am your father.
I am your father. Oh my god, it was just so funny. Of course this does not have a... Come on. This does not have a... I don't know. What does everybody have? Oh, it doesn't tell me what everybody has. I don't know. Okay, so anyway, if you thought you didn't know what was going on, anybody who's watched any of these movies, my mom really didn't know what was going on, but she still enjoyed it. I feel like I'm not even gonna waste my money with any of this. Like, no one has a lamp, so that's good. Even if they did, they would use it before I got to it. No idea where the star is. It's over... Wait, what? It's over here, but how do I get to it? I have no idea. I'm just going this way anyway. So yeah, in case you missed it, apparently Thor is Iron Man's dad. According to my mom. Oh, that was my favorite comment of the night. Oh my god, I was craving mint chocolate chip ice cream. This week, last week, I don't even remember. All the times are running together, but I was craving this ice cream for like days, and finally went out and got some, and now I want some again. I'm having the classic like jelly donut moment. Like ever since I started craving jelly donuts, I haven't really stopped. I'll just like forget about it for a while and then remember like, oh my god, I really could go for a jelly donut again. So this is also happening with mint chocolate chip ice cream. I want Madame Mom's version of the Marvel lore. It's something. Anyway. Yeah, she did enjoy the movie though. She really did. She just there was a line that made her question things, because I think Thor's dad was I feel like it was Thor's dad saying this, like, oh, there will never be, or maybe Thor said this to his dad, there will never be a better father than you, and he's just like, oh, I don't know. There was some kind of exchange and my mom got confused and then she thought that Thor was Iron Man's dad. So, I have no clue. No explanation, but there you go. Ah! Oh, my voice like went out. Yeah! Well, you know, at least my mom is not running the Cinematic Universe YouTube channel where she uploads shorts and doesn't know who any of the characters are. Because if she uploaded a short,
The Iron Man's dad talks to Odin.
yeah, Iron Man's dad talks to Odin. That would be the short. That's the equivalent. So my mom, if she were running the Marvel, no, that's where I'm glad you knew exactly where I was going for that, Odie. So I really I wish she was running the Cinematic Universe YouTube channel so we could get nothing but misinformation and have it depicted as fact, just like the Degrassi YouTube channel that is clearly run by somebody who's never watched Degrassi in their lives. A big bunch of losers tonight. I don't think anybody's won from this lottery. Oh man. Yeah. I'm gonna start my own Degrassi channel and have actual factual information and then get it taken down by the Degrassi channel. Become infamous with Degrassi. Alright, will I do this time? I used to be terrible at this minigame and never win no matter what, but I've recently gotten a lot better at it. It's all about pacing and kind of murdering your character, but like being kind of stealthy about it. Also, the controller is really loud. Hey, it's gonna be, swim season soon. Oh shoot, I'm not there yet. I kinda like that they save, like, the easiest button mash for the end, too. Oh my god, I was so close. Sorry. Yeah, ASMR again for my controller. They're so stiff! Yeah, yeah, exactly. You mean you don't swim, like, you know, super effective. Can we talk about how loud these splashes are, though? That's actually something I've never noticed. I'm glad you pointed that out, because that is true. Doing a lot of splashing with all that swimming. I come to end of stream for the Mario Party, but stay for the controller ASMR. I think it's about right. Sounds pretty accurate. Psycho's got the tea. Goody New Shoes, how's it going? Waluigi #1. He is right now. He's winning. Yoshi's attempting to give him a run for his money, which Yoshi's honestly made a bit of a comeback because I think, or maybe Waluigi's made a comeback. I think Yoshi was already winning. I don't know. I don't even remember. I don't remember who was in first like 5 turns ago. Cool. Give me a big old 2. And another I knew it was coming. I knew we would get another battle. It's probably gonna be 50. 30. Okay. A lot of them have been 50 tonight, though. I've hardly had. Oh, we gotta do Bowser's bigger blast. We have to. Just for the memes. For the lols. We haven't seen it tonight. It's a fun one. I'm gonna go with the classic, no. Yellow. Cool. You manifested, I guess. I know, the most nerve-wracking minigame. I really do love Bowser's Big Blast, but I also just enjoy luck-based minigames because they're just goofy and fun, and I mean, it's Mario Party, it's not that serious. It's just like, it's all for fun in the end. Oh, there, well, yeah, I don't know how much you heard that, but there goes the ASMR again. He's so shiny in this version. Like, he looks like very cold, shiny, hard plastic. He does not look like a balloon that would explode, but... How dare I pick yellow twice? Dang. I love how they, like, corkscrew down, like... Oh my gosh, so yesterday, I'm so sad because, I was getting a glass out of the cabinet, and I had a set of 4 super pretty, like, 4 pink glass champagne flutes. Those are the champagne flutes I have. My sister got me pink champagne flutes for Christmas years ago. This was like, I don't know, probably close to 10 years ago now. And I've had them forever, and they're so cute because I love pink stuff and pink glass, and it was great. And it was in, like, the tallest part of the cabinet, and it dropped down, and I broke my champagne glass. It completely shattered in the sink. I mean, luckily the sink caught it, like, caught all the shattered glass, but it was a fun time. Odie was, you know, fishing glass out of the garbage disposal, which there wasn't much. Luckily, there are, like, 2 big pieces down there, but, like, had to fish glass out of the sink. But I'm like, you know, I tweeted about it because I was like, I broke a champagne flute tonight and I didn't even get any champagne. It's not like, oh wow, I had this, like, look, I'm living this posh life with my pink champagne and my pink champagne glass, champagne flute. No, I just was clumsy. Cool. So, next time I shatter a champagne glass, there better be some actual champagne in it. That's what I'm saying. I'm not a big drinker, like, you know, if there's a time and place, sure, but I'm not a big drinker just as is. Like, I don't drink very often, but, like, honey, I will have a glass of champagne if you offer. I love mimosas, and I love champagne, whereas, like, most wine is too bitter, too dry, or not for me. I'm, like, if I have wine, it's gotta be sweet wine. But I love champagne. Give me the champagne. Pagne. Anyway. That happened to me, but with coffee. Oh no. It was too hot and I had ice on it and it broke the bottom of the mason jar. The classic scientific effect. I like mixed drinks too. Like, fruity, sugary, not too sugary. I mean, you don't want it to be like, you don't want it to make you like sick or anything, but like, I do like mixed drinks. I'm pretty simple though, I'm pretty basic. Like, I love anything mixed with orange juice. Like, I love mimosas, I love screwdrivers, and it's nice because with screwdrivers you can get all kinds of different flavors of vodka. I like, Moscato wine, like sweet wine all the way. And I love wine coolers, you know, like, if you guys have ever had the Seagrams, anything, those are the best. I like to have those in the summer a lot, too. That's, like, a summer thing for me, but yeah, I don't, like, even, like, I kind of, I do love a hard cider, too, but I've bought alcohol before and I forget that I have it. What? What did I do? What did I win? I don't know. Oh, I love amaretto sours. Those are so good. Okay, this is not me. I don't think I have any... Yeah, there's no way I can win because I would not have gotten a clean sweep. I would not have gotten the, I would have never gotten that coin star. Oh, but I was so close. I did get 2 out of 3. So good. So good. Anyway. I think I came in... Oh. I was like, I think I came in second. No, I didn't. I did not come in second. I lost. Waluigi is the winner. Look at how excited little, like, jungle shy guy is. He jumping up and down. Oh, so cute. I actually tried some red wine when I was using it to cook the other week. It tasted so nasty, but it made what I was cooking taste good when I cooked down, so win? Yeah, like, you definitely have to acquire a taste. I feel like most alcohol, like wine, beer, you have to acquire a taste for it. I feel like most people aren't like, wow, this is amazing! Like, and if they are, they're probably lying, or they're trying to be like, look how, like, mature I am. I'm 21, but I'm so cultured. You know, so. Anyway, Waluigi is the winner. Kit, did you come out? You're so gorgeous. She didn't like it. He said Waluigi, and she put her ears back like, oh, how could he say his name? Okay, let's see what these results are. Yeah, alcohol by itself tastes nasty. Like, anybody who's like, I like the taste of it is like, no, they like the result of it. Like, honey, that's cute, but you're not making yourself look credible here. 148! Dang, look, Peach had all the 3s. I had 5. Again, I would have needed a clean sweep in order to win, period, because I had the lowest number of coins. But, I mean, not the lowest between all of us, but the lowest between my competition. Alright, I had 235 coins from minigames, so that was good. That was the first star. 118, I was way below because I didn't have very good luck with the higher payout battle games. I just didn't have very good luck. And then, let's see, 2 happening spaces, that was it. Dang, not very many. Okay, 10 mushroom spaces, that's too many. Too many, Waluigi. Alright, well, before we close out here, I'm gonna play my favorite minigame. I'm only gonna play it once, because it is 11 o'clock. And look at that. We're finishing like right on time, so I'll go a little bit extra with this. This is my favorite part of Mario Party 4, and I always show it off. Isn't that nice, girls? Awesome. You're so gorgeous. And if you guys do not want to stick around for this part, I will remind you that tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, same time, same place as tonight, I'll be playing Banjo-Tooie for the first time ever. I'm going to have my first look at my playthrough of Banjo-Tooie on N64, and it should be a hype time. I'm very excited because I do love Banjo-Kazooie, and I'm looking forward to the next game in the series. Alright, so we're going to play a little bit of Mushroom Medic. This is my favorite minigame in the entirety of Mario Party 4. And I got to 28 patients like 1,000 years ago, and I don't think I've gotten past like 15 since, you know, so. Okay, his heart's really strong. Anyway, I'm excited for Banjo-Tooie. I'm excited, and it's gonna be the first time I've played a big, like, this is gonna sound so weird, but it's gonna be my first N64 experience with Banjo, because I originally played Banjo on the Xbox 360, like, arcade or whatever. That's how I own the game. Which was good because it had a more forgiving system, but, like, and it's been years, so I probably wouldn't even really remember this anyway, but, like, the controls are gonna be different because I've only ever played, oh my god. Okay, this guy. I've only ever played Banjo with an Xbox controller, so how funny is that? Yeah, why wasn't this in Superstars? Such a great game! You know, this could be a group minigame where you all go through, like, and it's just, you know, survival, like maybe have like 5 rounds or something. And make them, I mean, they wouldn't have to be as long as this, they could be shorter rounds, because obviously as the higher you get in the game, the shorter you have to decide, but like, they could all be pretty short. Oh my god, I don't know. I may have lost already. no! But they all felt the same!
Can you help me up? Please, Daddy?
You can get up yourself.
We killed Goomba! I'm so sorry.
Help me up? Please, Daddy?
You can get up yourself.
He was such a good Goomba. He lived a long, fulfilling life. He will be remembered as the inventor of Pop-Tarts.
Oh my god. I don't think my father, the inventor of Pop-Tarts, would be too pleased to hear about this. Thank you so much, Psycho and Scottman, for the bits. I really appreciate it. Yeah, where's K-Man's flute? I just had to remove the, audio bits entirely because I messed it up. I tried to like reprogram it with all Christmas audio alerts, and then somewhere along the lines I messed up and I could not get it back to what it was supposed to be. It wouldn't install correctly, so rip to my sound alerts. But yeah, just imagine. Okay, well I sucked, so sorry that was short, but it's okay because it's after 11 and I'm an unlicensed internist, which is about right. That's put me in my place, I guess. So we're gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping up for the night. So you guys, I'm gonna quickly just plug myself and my schedule, which is Monday, Friday, Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll be seeing Banjo-Tooie tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Friday Night Mario Party next week will be Mario Party 5. If you're part of my Patreon, be sure to vote in the poll starting tomorrow. I went ahead and just shared my link tree as well. It has all my social links on it and anything you could ever need of me that I ever talk about, including Patreon and all that good stuff. But tomorrow night is going to be regularly scheduled. There will not be a stream this coming Monday because I'll be at the St. Jude Summit. So sending you all love. For allowing that to be a possibility for me, and thank you again for all your prayers in regards to my health. So I'm so happy that I'm able to go on this trip and be part of it, and I can't wait to report back and tell you guys all about it. And in addition to that, next Saturday's stream will be in the afternoon rather than at night. So a little bit of a schedule change next week. I know it seems a little silly to like share my stream schedule when it's not even going to be the same next week, but and next Saturday's stream will be my Just Dance stream for April, and it may be the last Just Dance stream for a while. We might have to skip the month of May unless I can get something before my thumb surgery, then I will, but if not, then it's probably gonna be a little while before we see that because I'm gonna have to hold the controller. And you can only do right hand. Super dumb, but you can only do it right-handed, so giving it a ba for Sakura Princess. I'll give a ba with my right hand, at least. Let me go ahead and read off the names of anybody who went a little extra tonight. So we had generously cheered bits from Scottman, 895, Psycho Nacho Man, Cole the Camel, Casanova 64, and anybody else that gave an amount smaller than 100, smaller than 50, it's not going to show up on my list here, but thank you for your support. Thank you for the biddies. I always appreciate it. Thank you for the resubs from Shy Guy for Days. Hold on. Phoenix Warriors Tim Lauren and StarDev94. I think those were all the resubs tonight. Thank you for all the new follows as well. I appreciate you guys continuing to subscribe to the channel as well, because I'm trying to get back to that 200 number and stay at that 200 number as best I can. We've dipped a little bit because I'm sure some like gift subs expired and all that, but I appreciate you so much and sticking around or supporting me in that way. It really is the best way to support the channel, so I'm very appreciative of you guys who gift subs or wow, what have you. Look at this pose back here for you all with those tootsies in the air. Anyway, thank you for all your support. Thank you so much for $700 in the post-surgery fund. I'm going to continue to be raising funds for this so that I don't have to worry about rent or bills while I'm unable to stream as regularly after my thumb surgery. So if you feel so inclined to donate, it's still going to the same place. And luckily, I don't have to have such a high... My end goal for thumb surgery is like 1,000, and I was gonna have to up it like a lot more, or at least to like 2,000, or maybe even more than that if I had to have the other surgery too. So thank you guys for allowing this to be possible, just for me to not have to worry. So thank you for continuing to contribute to that, and to everybody who's contributed. Remember that I have my Mario movie podcast live on Patreon right now. It will go live publicly next Friday. And I think that's everything. Let me see if anybody is streaming. That is the wrong... What did I just type in? I typed in YouTube. Like, let's see who's streaming on YouTube. No. I'll give you guys an update on Discord as soon as I know more information about when I'm having my St. Jude Play Live campaign for this year. It'll be next month. I just don't know what day yet, and it's probably gonna be like a day or weekend because of surgery, but it'll be all good. So let's see. Why don't I... Oh wow, I haven't been able to raid... Oh no. Okay, I don't know. I want to raid my friend Plenty of Time if I can. I think he's still streaming. I think so. I don't know. Alright, we're gonna just attempt to raid Plenty of Time. So let's do that. Plenty of Time. And why don't we just... let's put... Yeah. This is gonna be our amazing hashtag. I know you guys will all appreciate it. Thor is Iron Man's dad. Okay. Love you all. I'm looking forward to Banjo-Tooie tomorrow. Hope to see you there. 8 p.m. Eastern on this Twitch channel. Anyway, love you all. Take care. If I don't see you this weekend, I will see you next weekend. But have a good one, guys. Good night! And good night from Julie. Bye!